The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
You're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
Well, it ain't a meteor.
Yeah, it is. It came out of the sky.
Well, I'm sure it did, but it ain't no meteor. It's a big old frozen chunk of poopy.
It puts the lotion on. You have no idea what kind of hell I can bring you!
Oh, all right, enough, you broken record, okay. You want a match? My face and your ass. How about that, friend? Huh? I mean, your ass and my face. What's up?
I think I'm gonna go to the restroom and take a big Joe. Don't forget to wipe your dirt.
All hail Joe Dirt!
Showtime.
I sincerely love Joe Dirt. I do. I love the character. I love the movie. Brandy is crazy hot.
Ooh.
Love that movie. Are we on the anniversary of its release? Oh God! Or did Dana Carvey? What's his name? Who put
David Spade.
David Spade.
He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. Yeah, it came out on this day in 2001.
David Spade's probably laying in bed with some 24-year-old model right now.
Or at least one.
Yeah, because that's the way that guy rolls, and good for him.
It came out in 2001. That's when they came up with the Jurassic water squirter.
Well, they actually
Also in the year 2001.
If you remember, the Jurassic water squirter was actually much later when they came up with it, but they called it the 2001.
I'm sorry.
I remember at the time going, this guy's a few years behind the times when the viral video where the guy said they came back with the Jurassic water squirter,
Jurassic
2001.
Park water squirter. I don't know how I left that out. You're right, the Jurassic Park water.
Did you guys see Joe Dirt 2, Beautiful Loser?
Yes.
Is that anywhere around the goodness of the first?
No.
Okay.
No,
you don't hear
it is
anybody
not.
talk about it, so that's my assumption.
I waited to hear if anybody was raving about it because I was a little bit worried, and that's the first I've heard anybody talk about it since it came out.
Didn't it go straight to Crackle or something like that?
did.
It was like an offshoot streaming service.
Cubby, I had forgotten all about it. No, I never saw it, and I had forgotten all about it, that there was a sequel. Or was it a prequel? Couldn't have been a prequel.
I thought it was a sequel.
It was a sequel, yeah.
Sure. No, I had forgotten all about it.
I mean, they waited a while. That was 2015 when the sequel came out.
Jeez Louise. 2001 on this date, they dumped Joe Dirt on us. I grew up with a dude who could have been the inspiration for that character. Everything that Joe, maybe this is why I love the movie so much, everything that Joe Dirt says and does reminds me of that one old pal of mine. Now he lives out in Colorado, and I miss him. He even took a job years ago that I could see Joe Dirt taking if another version of the movie came out. This buddy of mine took a job driving the grooming machine at a local ski hill.
Dude, sweet.
You like the sound of that?
That'd be fun.
I really do. I've always wanted to drive one of those.
A buddy of mine does that.
Just drives up and down the hill on the grooving, whatever you call it, machine.
That's a real soothing and satisfying job, you know? Not very high stress.
Is that a piston bully, the giant ones? Is that what he drives?
I don't know. Just a bit. I don't know.
I've gone on a piston bully ride-along.
A piston? See, I've never even heard that said out loud.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the one he drives?
No,
Okay.
no. This was once he went out to Colorado.
Wasn't that the one Jeremy Renner got ran over?
Yeah.
Was a piston bully?
I believe it was a piston bully.
Could you show me a photo, Josh? I mean, I know what they
It
look.
doesn't give you the...
Yeah, one of those things. Yeah, one of those things.
Let me see if I can find an image so you can see how big these things can get.
Yeah, that's...
The plow on them alone, massive.
Josh showed me a photo. Yeah, that's similar to what the dude drove. You've gone on a ride-along on a ski hill grooming machine.
I have, yeah.
You know, every time we talk about your sick ride-along habits, there's a little bit of information that leaks out that we didn't know before.
Yeah, I like I said, I love learning about what other people do and just, their lives. It's a different experience, and I went up in that thing, and it was a lot of fun.
You see, and it looks like fun. This pal of mine, though, I'm going to try to say this without offending anybody. Wapple's the guy who usually likes to put his foot in his mouth and offend people's professions. He does.
Yeah.
He does it a lot, and he's stirred up trouble, and it's almost come to violence.
Hot takes.
But here's where I'm going with this. This pal of mine, the original Joe Dirt, he was qualified to do nothing. And still to this day, I believe he's qualified to do nothing. So how the hell did he get that job?
I don't know.
He's a great talker.
That could be a dangerous machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it looks like a very difficult machine to pilot. So it makes me wonder how the hell did he land that gig? Maybe it's not as difficult as it looks. You tell us. You were there, Cubby. You were in the cab.
It looked complicated to me.
Man, what a cool...
Just kind of schmoozed his way on there.
Yeah, everybody knows some of those people that just kind of fumble their way into something cool.
Well, yeah. I suppose I'll have to chalk it up to that, because I never asked him how he got the job. He just suddenly told us, yeah, it's what I do for a living now. And this is not the same friend who I've told you before who talked his way into driving a front-end loader and then rolled it into a ditch.
I was just going to ask
It's
that.
not the same guy. It's just, honestly, my friend group featured a couple of top-notch con artists. Did everyone have, when you were growing up, did you have that pothead friend growing up that, of course, got a pot-related nickname?
No.
Yes.
Okay, what was your...
Oh, yeah, I definitely did.
What was your, Ashley, your pothead friend who, because of their intake, received a pot-related nickname?
It was really easy because their last name, we just called them Blaze.
Blaze, okay. Go ahead,
We
Dana.
called them brains because the slang in high school, I don't know if this was universal or not, but if you smoked a lot of pot, oh, I'm so brained right now.
I've never heard that, but I love
I
that.
haven't either.
Yeah, so we called him brains because he was
Okay.
always brained.
I'm bringing that back.
My Joe Dirt buddy was one of the first potheads at our school. Junior high, he was known for smoking lots and lots of pot. So he gained the nickname Beaner.
Oh.
He was Beaner. And there's probably 10 million Beaners out there in the
Yeah.
pot.
I could see that.
It wasn't the most original thing, but I think for seventh graders, we did a pretty good job at nicknaming him Beaner.
I never knew that was a pot reference because we had a guy that I was in a band with. We called him Beaner, but that was his last name.
Oh.
So yeah, but I wish I would have known that back then.
This is also kind of embarrassing, but I knew a guy that everybody called Kush. He was introducing me as Kush. I didn't realize that was a weed reference, so I thought his last name was Kush for the first year I knew the guy. I did not realize that was not his last name. I thought
A good nickname will make it so you have no idea what their real identity is. Absolutely. I love those moments where wait a minute, people have been... So your real name isn't Hot Nuts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I found
People
out-
have been calling you Hot Nuts for 20 years. I thought it was your real name.
I think I was on an email chain with him. I'm like, who the hell is, blank last name? He's like, dude, that's Kush. I'm like, no, I thought Kush was Kush. That's not his name, man. That's just
Yep.
what we call him.
That's when you know you got a great nickname. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about what you learned riding along with a ski slope grooming machine?
I can tell
pilot?
you it was crazy hot in it.
Oh.
It was really hot in there.
That sounds awful.
And it was a really old one. And so, my buddy, he knows how to fix everything. And so, he's swearing up and down because things are going wrong. But, I don't know. It was cool. You're way up there. It's a giant machine. I love those big machines. It was fun. Drunk Forearm Jesus said he had a buddy named Potsy. That was the nickname.
Hey.
The guy from Happy Days.
That's great.
Buds. That's
Hey,
another
what's
good one.
going on, Buds? Sure. That's good stuff.
Smokestack.
Gotcha.
Chimney. I've heard that from about a smoker.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We had a guy named Smokey in college, but it's because he went through a couple packs a day of cigarettes.
Ashley, people are wondering if you're still off the weed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore.
A snow groomer. What are folks telling us the term is?
A piston bully?
Piston bully. Is that the brand or that's the
I don't know.
Because someone just texted me the proper term, or at least what they think the proper term is for that machine, and now I've lost it.
Well, did they say snowcat?
That's it,
Yeah.
snowcat.
Yeah, I think they also mentioned piston bully, but...
Gosh,
Fascinating.
that'd be so fun.
Fascinating stuff. What would be so fun? Riding along
or being the one that's operating
Being the one
it.
that's
I want to touch all the buttons.
Bernie? Another nickname?
That's a good one.
Weedy? Yeah, you got a friend named Weedy.
Yeah,
Ash.
I do have a friend named Weedy. What's up, Weed?
Is that weed related?
No. He likes to say that it is, but no, it was from like a very long time ago. It was from when he was a kid because he grew like a weed.
Oh.
And so it just took off from there.
I do remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Now we got all kinds of different nicknames being sent into the program. Scabs was the nickname of some because his girlfriend gave him scabs on his wiener, according to a listener.
I would not want to be Scabs.
So now your nickname is Scabs.
We were talking about nicknames that they sound so authentic you'd think that's their real name. Somebody wanted to know, Nick, so your buddy's real name isn't Hot Tub?
Nope.
Not his given name?
No. I hate to bust up the image, but no, his real name is not Hot Tub. All right, what the hell else is going on around here? We welcome you to the show. Thursday morning. Oh, my old Joe Dirt pal. He never liked to wear shoes. He spent a lot of his youth barefoot, which does another little originality about him that
We worked with a guy like that.
that so many people thought he was just fun to be around, and sometimes it was just his appearance that drew you in, and he was 9 times out of 10 he was barefoot. Yeah, we used to work with a guy who enjoyed being barefooted. This is the guy who went to prison, my Joe Dirt pal. He went to prison, Beaner, and promptly won the prison ping pong championship.
Man, that's a hell of a distinction.
I've told you that story before. He took a job. This wasn't the snow grooming job. He took a job. He's had a lot of jobs for very brief periods of time. He took a job and then was promptly fired at the company Christmas party for asking the boss's wife if she was interested in having oral sex with him.
Yeah.
That's that guy.
If I remember correctly from the last time you told that story, she did not want to have oral sex with him?
She didn't. Yeah. She told him no. And he said, okay.
Well, you gotta ask.
And then he found out, of course,
you don't know if you don't ask.
Permission is key. And then he was fired. Last I heard, he upped and got married. Well, people are texting in saying they had a buddy whose nickname was Syphilis. Tell us the story.
He said because he always looks sick. So they nicknamed him Syphilis.
I love that. Men are brutal. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we can be kind of nasty. All right. Which of you dudes bring your cell phone into the bathroom with you when you're going to take a number one?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, definitely.
I just did yesterday and got called out on it.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Who called you out on that?
Well, our engineer, Oberg, he...
of course.
Yeah.
He called after the show. So, it's great. Sometimes he'll have... he'll comment on something on the show, right? You guys, he's a hilarious dude.
Very funny.
And so he called, and I was in the studio, and then, I had to go real bad, so I walked into the bathroom, and all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, where's your hand right now?" I'm like, "Well, on my penis, I'm peeing." And he's like, "I thought so." He could hear what was going on in the
I'm sure it got really echoey all of a sudden because you're in the bathroom.
Where's your hand?
He interrupted himself to ask me what was going on.
Because it says here 30% of dudes have used their phone while peeing at a urinal. Mm-hmm. All of you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, God. I
And
don't
you think
know.
I've learned my lesson, too, because twice in my 20s, I dumped a phone in the toilet while taking a whiz.
No,
Have you really?
Yeah.
Well,
thank goodness I've never done that.
Yeah. I've been close a couple times where you do that juggling act, Yeah, it's right over the toilet. You're like, oh!
I don't know that I've ever been poking at my cellular telephone while taking a whiz bang, but I certainly like to have it with me if I'm going to be sitting down for a while.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, somebody texted in once and said, if you don't bring your cell phone to the toilet, it's like going into battle without a weapon.
Very good point.
Bored.
Well, but I'm certainly still content with my handheld Yahtzee or my handheld poker machine. Something to do. It's key. Used to be magazines, the newspaper, things like that, but...
It's that movie in Kingpin where the guy he can't find a newspaper, so he's like, give me a shampoo bottle, something. I need something to read.
Dude, are you kidding me? That scene spoke to me. Because do the rest of you remember ever reading the shampoo bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
God.
A lot of cereal boxes I read back in the day.
While you're sitting on the toilet?
No, I didn't. No, just in the general.
Oh.
You guys, so you're saying on the toilet you'd read shampoo bottles?
Oh, yeah.
I remember
I thought you meant like in the shower.
Or like the
No.
lotion that your mom has out, or the
Yeah.
hand soap she has out. That is.
'Cause
I've never had an original experience in my life.
There are times you're going to be there for... Yeah, I remember that back in the day. You're going to be there for a while. There's nothing. You screwed up. You didn't bring the paper. You didn't bring a magazine in there. Yeah, I read the ingredients to shampoo bottles because they're sitting right there in
The paper. That was always the joke. There's some, like on TV, Dad would be reading the paper while on the toilet.
Yep.
Something like that.
My dad's always called the bathroom the library.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's a beautiful thing. 30% of guys use their phone even while taking a squeege.
I'm not fat, I'm aerodynamic, Jesus said. Remember the old days when we had to read the wall? Sure, I still do that if there's something written above a urinal.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they put that advertising up there. They know we want to read something.
Reading the wall. I don't really notice the ads on the wall of the men's room in the neighborhood bar. I don't notice them like I used to.
We used to be on the...
I wonder why I don't read them the way I used to. Maybe...
I always do, and then they even have the ones that switch the message, the screens.
We used to be on the ones at Target Field.
Was it Target Field or was it the Saints Stadium?
It was Target Field.
I saw them at Target Field.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
the half-ass morning show or 93X, I forgot. We had
I know
And
it
then
was
there
for
was-
sure the Saints Stadium. I saw it there. I didn't know it was Target Field as well.
It was like the Twins are number one, half-ass morning show's number two.
That was so dumb. That was so friggin' dumb. It's unbelievable.
What? Did I really say that?
I hated that. That was so stupid.
That is dumb.
And again, it's unbelievable the power that some people possess when they can't come up with a better idea than a effing 7-year-old. I was excited when we found out that there were going to be ads running above the urinals, ads for our program at Target Field or wherever the hell else they ended up. I was excited. And then we have a meeting, and Josh and I came up with, I thought, some pretty decent ideas, but no, the boss's idea won out.
Wait,
The
so
Twins are number one, half-ass morning show's number two. That's
Because you're in the bathroom.
So
yourself.
In men's rooms, they have like those advertisements above the urinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I would have never knew that,
Yeah,
but
it
that
looks
makes
like-
sense.
It looks like a little tiny tablet, and then it switches like every
What?
10 seconds.
That sounds awesome. We don't have tablets in the women's room.
You don't?
No,
Well, tell us what do you got in there that we don't have?
nothing cool.
I thought
we
you
have
guys
that
had
little tampon machine sometimes.
You guys
that's
always
cool.
said that there was a couch in women's bathrooms.
Yeah, that is.
that
there-
was always the urban legend.
That is pretty cool. Is there actually is, and I can tell you like the best bathrooms for that in the city. It's Macy's has the best one.
Really?
Yeah,
There's-
they have like a full separate room where there's like 2 couches, some nice mirrors.
Here's the bathroom couch area.
Oh, I love it. And then usually, especially at women's, in the women's rooms at golf courses, but I've seen it at other bars too. They'll have like a little station with perfume, deodorant, tampons, mints.
Oh,
that's
you
at
got to
the
go to a strip club for that.
Yeah.
If you want that in a men's room.
It's the
Maybe
best.
not the tampons.
So bougie. Makes you feel good.
The old days, they used to just post up ads above the urinals. Now it's this, I guess, in some places it's the scrolling video kind of a thing. I still see more of just the old school, poster tacked up on the wall, but I just don't pay attention anymore. Maybe because We work in an advertisement. What's the fancy term for this? An advertisement.
Well, some people
business?
might call it an industry.
Yeah, maybe I'm just burned out on ads, but
We've been talking about ways you can kind of distract yourself on the toilet, whether it be a phone or something.
sure.
763 area code brings up, Butters. He sits backwards on the toilet, so he has a spot for his chocolate milk in his comic book.
I remember laughing pretty hard at that.
That was so good.
Yeah, I think Randy Shaver used to do urinal ads. Let's ask him about that today. I remember seeing ads to donate to his cancer research fund on the bathroom walls here and there. Someone remind me to ask him about that.
Speaking of that, Randy Shaver, my wife was telling me yesterday on social media, the Randy Shaver Cancer Research and Community Fund posted that they've done the Shaver Shuffle every year for years. I mean, years and years. We've been involved either going out there or online. During the pandemic, they kind of had an online thing going. And now they're going to can that, and they're going to pickleball with the popularity of pickleball and how much Randy loves it. And I was at his last event, the pickleball event, which was a lot of fun until the guy's leg shot 3 counties away.
Guy hurt himself real bad.
That wasn't good. Thankfully, Dr. P was there.
That should have been the highlight of the event when someone hurts themselves.
Oh, I think if you saw it, you wouldn't feel that way. It was pretty bad.
So now they're going to
That guy
play
was in a lot of pain.
pickleball.
Yeah, so I guess they're replacing it with pickleball, according to my wife.
Are you in or what?
I'll go. I don't know if I want to be in the tournament just because people take it pretty seriously. But, it'd be fun to play if there was a league or a group of people that just wanted to have fun and weren't going to be super competitive about it.
Ooh, maybe sign up to be a referee.
Do they have refs in pickleball? I haven't seen that yet.
They have to, right?
Make a bunch of bad line calls against a team that's clearly taking it way too seriously.
Yes.
Oh, there's got to be
I'd
someone.
be perfect because I kind of understand the rules.
There's got to be someone who has to call in or out, right?
Well, usually, it's on your honor, right?
Oh, they can't do that. They got to be a ref. I think
it's got to be serious.
And then you can wield much power at that event. Throw some people out.
That would be awesome.
You're out of here, Shaver.
If you hurt yourself, you're eliminated from the tournament. You know what I mean?
Throw him out of his own event.
You guys should go. It'd be fun if
That
everybody
does
went.
sound fun.
I'm with you, Josh. I'd like to go and hang out and kind of observe, and if there is just like a dork bracket of guys who have never played, I'd get in, but I don't want to get in there like have Dr. P. Jesus smash one off my face.
No, he goes for the nuts.
Does he?
True story.
Since I've never tried, I have this you guys ever, have this sport where you're like, well, I've never done it, but watch me do it, and I'm just going to be like the best there's ever been. Like
That's how you're feeling about pickleball?
Yeah. I get that way sometimes. I feel like I'll try it, and I'm just going to have people knocking on my door like, hey, we've never seen anybody like you.
Give it a shot.
People are moved to tears by how good you are.
Well, that ought to be something. Yeah, Randy's he's hooked on that pickleball. He is.
Yeah, he is.
And so was I for about 2 or 3 months, and now
Yeah, you tried.
I couldn't possibly care less. Couldn't possibly care less. But maybe, of course, with a charity aspect, why not? So there you go. Yeah, I'll have to ask Randy about his urinal ads. I used to see him, and I thought, God, I can't escape the guy.
I saw an interesting yesterday. It was at Home Depot. It was an ad for looking for employees. They've got a wonderful compensation package if you're looking for a job. Thought
Good
that was
to know.
Yeah, I learned a lot. You want to buy some Home Depot stock? You can get 15% off if you work for Home Depot. You want a 401k? They got that.
Do they? Wow.
I don't know if it said anything about a discount on
insurance,
nails,
or shingles or something. I can't remember that part.
Wood.
Yep, you're naming things that they sell at Home Depot.
You get 5% off lumber.
All right, speaking of bathroom advertisements, appliance whisperer Jesus, he must be an older cat because he says he misses the good old days. He misses the call for a good time.
Oh, I still see that. Yeah, there's a place by us that has it.
On the bathroom wall.
That's always fun.
And it's
someone just writes down their number for a good time call. You see that where, Josh?
There's a place I go, and it's people have added to it. It's like a community thing where somebody crosses off a number and puts a new name and a new number on it. They're getting quite the list.
Yeah, my number's on a on a bar somewhere in the middle of Wisconsin that I've never been to. I got that message once.
Oh, I remember you telling us that.
And it was like somebody put something awful about me too.
Can you share, like, cleaned for the radio? What
I
they
think
might have
it was
said?
like something about me being a hoe in some way.
Oh, no.
That's like sweet.
You've been called worse.
I remember getting that message and I laughed.
Well, no, wait. If I remember the story, didn't a female bar patron call you, someone that you didn't know from Jack Squat, call you and say, and inform you that your number was on the bathroom wall?
Yeah, a woman texted me and let me
Texted
know. And so I was like, so is it in the women's room? But I thought, okay.
It wasn't.
Cool.
It was or was not in the women's room.
It was in the women's room then.
It wasn't in the men's room. It was in the women's room.
Yeah. I thought, what is this going to do? But thank you. At least someone's thinking about me.
So you must have pissed some gal off, and then she goes in the women's room and calls you a hoe and dumps your phone number out for every... Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I used to see way more of that, Josh, but I think, obviously, with Facebook and Tinder and Twitter, whatever the hell's going on out there, we don't need bathroom walls to meet random people anymore. And I think also it's much easier to clean that type of thing up off of a wall than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's some...
you get out
a magic eraser that can handle that.
Acetone.
Right. God dang. Well, maybe it'll come back someday. Maybe one day we'll all have our names on the bathroom wall.
Thank God you and I don't give our phone numbers to our coworkers, because they could never put us on there.
Got your number on the bathroom wall. What band?
Faster
Go.
Pussycat.
Faster Pussycat. What year?
1984.
Seven.
Dang, that was going to be my first guess. I was never much of a Faster Pussycat.
Oh, I love their first record. Love their first record. Beyond that, but their first record is good. They sing about the bathroom wall, don't they, Josh? They sing about how you shouldn't change that song. Don't you change that song. That's how they operated back in the day. Okay, we got a Thursday broadcast ahead of us. We're all feeling pretty good about it. Randy Shaver's going to duck in a little bit later. Plenty to talk about with the Wolves and the Twins and the this and the that. And you're a Dynamite crowd. We'll take a little break. We'll come back in just a few minutes on the program ski.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-assed Morning Show.
A few minutes ago, we were talking about getting a phone number off the bathroom wall. A thing of the past for the most part. Got a text message on the topic from Double D's Sheezes. And she says, if there's a number in the stall, in the bathroom, that says looking for a good time, she says it's probably not true. Once she called the guy named Mike, and Mike was not looking for a good time, and he came off like kind of a prick.
That's too bad.
Yeah, oftentimes, people don't usually volunteer their own name and number.
I wonder if any time someone's volunteered their own name and number. I assume all of them were people being jerks or messing with folks.
I'll tell you this much, back in the day of people calling numbers off a bathroom wall, If a gal would have called me for a good time, I would have had no reservations. I would have made a copy of the key to my house without ever meeting her in person. I loved random sexual encounters when I was young. I did. Then I got scared to death a couple of times, and it changed my perception. Fearing for your life after a sexual encounter or two with a complete stranger is kind of a wake-up call. Kind of a wake-up call. Oh, and one other topic we discussed was advertisements, I should say, in the bathroom. They started putting up posters above the urinals, up on the wall. Now they do videos and whatnot. It's all fancy schmancy. Here's something that we didn't mention, but it's a real thing. I've seen it a time or two. The advertisements on the urinal cakes.
Oh,
that's smart.
I forgot. Yeah, I've only seen that once or twice.
Mm-hmm. You don't see it often.
No,
I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen videos of the video games inside a urinal where you just aim your urine to play the game.
Yes.
Have no one here seen that in person?
I've never seen it in person, but I have seen the videos of it.
If there's a place in town, text us 651-989-9393. I'd love to know if we have one of those here. I've definitely seen them on videos like in Japan and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation makes me think of, Josh, do you remember, this was one of the first internet videos that I remember watching, and I said to myself, God help us all. It's the end of days. It's the end of reason. It's the end of sanity. The dude who was paid $30 to dive headfirst into a clogged urinal at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Oh, that was gross.
So gross.
Oh, I just got the willies just thinking about it.
There was a lot of fluid in there, wasn't there?
Oh, no.
It was splat. It like overflowed.
Yes.
That was so gross. That had to be something where you mentioned the wake-up call. When he woke up the next day and thought about the prior day's events, he had to have thought, what have I become?
Yes.
I don't want to be this guy.
I would hope that's one of the thoughts that crossed his mind. Also, you would think he would wake up in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I would bet that could make you dangerously sick.
Oh, very itchy.
If you don't know, look for. Maybe it's still on YouTube. I have no idea.
I'm sure it is. It's got to be.
It's one of the first videos when someone showed me what the internet is. It's one of the first videos where I said, "This can't be real life." Wrigley Field, one of those deals. If you're confused, the urinal that runs along the entire wall,
like a trough, I think they call it.
That's what. There you go. The trough, which we used to have at the old Metrodome.
Metrodome had.
I enjoyed the trough. I still enjoy a good trough. But anyway,
it's still up there, by the way.
I think it
Can
was
you send it to me?
It's up there.
Yep.
I think it was the home opener, and one of the urinals got clogged. So it's 6-8 inches deep of urine. And some dude was paid to dive smooth into it, and he did.
Oh.
Do you see it?
Oh, there is a lot of fluid.
Isn't there? Pretty sick.
So much fluid.
I wasn't creative enough to know that could ever happen. I thought the internet peaked, and I'm a moron because look how far it's come. I thought it peaked when the dog was riding a Zumba and a cat was riding the dog. Not a Zumba, a Roomba.
Roomba, yeah.
I love those.
That particular video, I thought, well, the internet's done. We've accomplished all we can.
I remember that.
Josh had such a more wholesome view of the internet and the hopes of what it could become.
Right, I didn't know it could fail so quickly.
Wasn't it a cat dressed as a shark on a Roomba?
Oh, I've seen that one too.
And then a duck walks by and takes a dump on the floor. Yeah, you thought that was it. Shut it down.
I thought I can't get any better than this.
Right.
Thank God for the internet at the time, I thought. I had no idea.
Eye herpes, somebody said. The urinal diver must have at least caught eye herpes.
I need a follow-up to figure out how much he got, because I'd imagine it's a paltry sum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was probably the guy who you could have just said do it, and he would have done it for the attention. You wouldn't even have to give him money.
Yeah, you're onto something there.
Because everybody has that friend that's like, should I do it? Should I do it? Yeah, sure, if you want to. I don't care.
Sprinkler Fitter Jesus says, $30 used to be a lot more money. Because it's probably 20 years ago, but I don't effing know.
Oh, here we go. Terrazzo Jesus. Shorty's Pizza, Tower Avenue, Superior, Wisconsin, has urinal games. There's penguin skiing in one of them. I mean, the only urinal game I know of like where I could go now would be to melt the ice. I enjoy that urinal
Love
game.
that game.
So your urine stream controls a video game for you.
Yeah, where you aim it.
All right, I have not encountered that yet. Scooter Jesus texting in this morning, and again, our number is 651-989-9393 if you got a fresh comment for us. Scooter Jesus asks a interesting question. Why can I still smell the men's room at the old Metrodome?
Yeah, that was a powerful urine smell.
It was.
It stays with you, Scooter Jesus, it does. But we had some laughs over there, didn't we?
I can't stand the smell of any men's room, even if they're clean. I think it's the urinal.
Okay,
cakes
and
that
this is
just
the
so
gal
gross.
who did what at the state fair?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You seem to step in it sometimes with your comments.
Well, there was, in my defense, there was no urinal in there, and so there was no urinal cakes.
Listen,
That
everyone
smell
in this everyone in this room knows what it's like to be in a state fair bathroom. Just because there wasn't a urinal or a urinal cake, don't try to lead us to believe that this was some kind of pristine situation you were in.
And I can't remember. I know we've asked you this before, Ashley. Was this closer to day one of the fair or closer to closing day of the fair?
Oh, gosh, I have no idea.
Because there is a difference in those bathrooms.
There is a huge difference. And there's a difference on what ones you go to. I was not anywhere near the animal barn.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Those bathrooms are a train wreck.
Precast Wizard Jesus reminds us if you're urinating into a toilet as a man, there's, of course, the try and get rid of the skid mark game.
Yeah.
That's as old as time, Josh.
I've only had 2 defeat me. Usually I can take care of them, but there's been 2 where I thought we will have a rematch at some point.
Josh just starts chugging Mountain Dews. He's like, I'm coming back for you.
I'm holding it for a whole day.
I wish the listening audience could have just seen Dana do that.
I know, it was bad.
Just taking 2 D's to the face.
I was going like this, pretending like they were Mountain Dews, and it really
stop. Can you please stop?
Did someone just say, take 2 D's to the face?
She sure did.
What are we talking about?
Dana, you're going to have to reenact it.
One more time.
I was pretending like Josh was chugging Mountain Dew so he could pee to get rid of the skid mark, and I did one of these.
Can I be honest with you? They were giant. Based on how open your hands were.
I was trying to picture you 2 liters, Josh. 2 liters of Dews.
Boy, were you excited.
Big smile on his face. That was really weird.
A game as old as time, Josh. Peeing on the toilet stains. Jesus and his disciples played that game.
Peter was probably the best. Okay, that was stupid. Take that out of the podcast and my memory.
Speaking of Jesus, who we talk about often, I know a lot of listeners right now are saying, here they go again with Jesus. You Catholics aren't going to be happy with this effing guy, I don't think. A Catholic priest threw a wild orgy. He did. And at the party, a male prostitute overdosed on boner pills.
I was unaware that could happen. I mean, I knew there can be some adverse effects, especially if you don't need them, but I didn't know you could OD on something like that.
I didn't know that either. Catholic priest throws himself an orgy, and a male prostitute overdosed on boner pills. Just a day or 2 ago, the priest was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Now, this group sex showdown happened in Poland. I don't know if that makes any of you Catholics feel any better or not. It happened in Poland. The priest was convicted of, sexual offenses. I didn't catch that the first time around. I guess that explains the months in prison. No details on what that means. He's also in trouble for supplying drugs for this party and for failing to provide assistance to a seriously injured person, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Even the priest's name sounds like he knows how to party. They call him Thomas Z. Tommy Z, bruh.
That's pretty cool.
Says here, Tommy the priest. So he goes ahead and organizes a sex party at his apartment. This was back in August of 20 plus 23. A male prostitute was maybe partying a little too hard, you might say, because the poor bastard collapsed down onto the floor from eating too many hard-on pills. Down he goes. And apparently Tommy Z wasn't terribly sympathetic about that. When someone else at the party wanted to call the cops to help the prostitute who had passed out from Permawood, the priest threw that concerned partier smooth out of the apartment. We must call for help. Help? What, are you crazy? You're out of here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No nearly dead hooker's gonna bust up a Tommy Z party, he said. The dude who got thrown out did call an ambulance. When paramedics arrived, the priest refused to allow them inside his apartment. He just kept dancing the night away. Eventually, the cops showed up. Now, here's the part where some very valuable information is missing. Police found the one male prostitute out cold, lying on a bed, and the cops said that, quote, his lower body was severely mutilated, but that's all the info provided. So what the hell does that mean? When the guy fell unconscious from too many Viagras, did he break his boner on the way down?
Yeah, I wonder.
What was wrong with his lower body?
That's weird that they left that out, isn't it?
Yeah. The sleepy hooker was taken to a hospital, and apparently he turned out all right. Tommy Z, the party priest, he's acting all defiant about this. He's got an attitude. He does. Tommy Z says his case is only interesting because it involves a member of the clergy. Okay, well, no doubt that certainly makes it more fun than the average citizens, hookers, and hard-ons party. I got to admit that. It makes it a little bit more interesting that you are a priest, yes. But Tommy Z is kind of big-timing everyone. Listen to what he says here to the local news. He says, if something similar had happened to a little-known person, there'd be no issue at all. But because I'm Tommy Z, everyone's making a big... I mean, am I right? You're making a big deal.
Shut up, Tommy.
Because
He's very likable, this guy.
He is. I'm a star. That's the only reason why it's a big deal. Get those nearly dead hookers out of here. I'm trying to party. So Tommy Z is obviously no longer holding down a job as a priest, and he's going to go off to prison now. Where they'll probably have some more boner parties. I bet.
Good for him.
I don't know.
Priests are different than how I remember them growing up. I gotta say. Stories that have unfortunate stories that have come out over the years.
Yeah.
Very, very, very unfortunate stories.
I never got to know any of them.
Shakes your faith a little bit.
Does it shake up your faith? I never got to know any of the priests just because you went to a Catholic school. I just kind of showed up at church once in a while, slept through it. Were they pretty strict characters?
Oh, they could be. And, we had a couple that were hilarious, and I looked up to them. A lot of respect.
Was there the one who was kind of the cool priest?
He was cool without trying to be cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
But we did have a teacher that was the cool teacher, and you could tell because you didn't call him Mr. So-and-so. You called him by his first name.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Hey, guys, Mr. So-and-so, that's my father's name.
You kids can just call
I'm Jasper.
me... Yeah. Just call me Ron.
Hey, I'm like one of you.
Morning.
Just like one of you little people here.
So sad.
Good morning, Mr. McGillicuddy. I mean, Ron. The cool priest, I'll tell you what. Here's something wildly original. A scorching hot lady who spends her days working on OnlyFans, and she can't wait to tell anyone who will listen just how rich she is now. But actually, there is a slight twist here that keeps the story from falling in line with all the others. There is. The gal says that she makes her money humiliating men's penises.
What a dream.
Does it really? You'd like to do something like that?
That would be awesome.
Do you think you'd be pretty good at it?
Yeah, I think so.
You call that a
I'd be
pecker?
too good at it.
I bet you would be good at that.
No, thank you. I don't smoke, she says.
Oh yeah, I think I'd be too mean.
Well, that's what they want.
Yeah, that's what they're after.
Ashley, let her buck. That's what some of the boys want.
I wonder if I know someone that gets turned on by something like that, just being humiliated, body shamed, things like that. I would think those words would be very hurtful. I wouldn't like that, but it's crazy that she's making a living with this.
Yeah, I wonder how common it really is.
Yeah, I don't know. None of my guy friends have mentioned that at the Legion. You know
Although,
what I mean?
let me say, pardon the pun, I do enjoy some ball busting, so maybe I'd be curious to see what she said about it.
This gal makes her money humiliating men's penises for them. She says, quote, they love it when I call them small. She calls herself Sharna Beckman, and she's a very pretty lady. She's 27 years old. She's from friggin' Australia. A lot of her money comes from humiliation, she says. Men like to be belittled by her. She says, they want me to tell them how small their genitals are. I remember I had this one fan who would send me videos of himself nude, wearing nothing but heels and a handbag. Huh? And then he began to hit himself in the genitals with the high heels really hard. It turned him on, and he would pay me big bucks just to be humiliated. She's been up there on that OnlyFans setup for 3 years now. It's not all fun with small peckers and wonderful days filled with men mangling their own dogs. Dongs is how you say it. It's not all fun and games. She has her bad days, too, she says. She found out that one of her cousins bought some of her online porn.
Ooh.
And she said that made her sick. It made her sick. But wait. You watch men punch their own nuts into dust all day long, but one of your cousins watch one of your porno movies and he's the sick one?
Yeah, let's be real.
So let's not do any name calling here just yet, in my opinion.
I mean, she basically almost gives it away on her Instagram. So if anybody in her family follows her on Instagram, I feel like it's the same situation.
Are you looking at her right now on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't think there's a single photo where she's wearing any, like, where there's not cleavage or butt. So it's one of those. She is gorgeous, though. Holy
She's a very
cow.
pretty lady.
She definitely is.
I looked her up
Beautiful.
last night. I saw a picture of her last night where she's holding a dildo.
Oh, I didn't see the dildo pic.
Yeah, she's just holding it. I didn't know what the hell she had planned for it.
Oh, you're right. There she is, embracing Dana right in front of me.
Oh!
God, I hope you were going to scroll back that far.
I didn't mean that.
There she was. I saw her last night. She's just sitting there and she's holding a dildo. Word is her family wasn't exactly pumped when they found out how Sharna pays the rent. I mean, with the exception of that one cousin, of course. He digs it. So there you go, boys. Josh, you hate your own penis. Why don't you get a hold of Sharna and she could teach you some brand new reasons to hate it?
Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind the humor of the ball busting, but you're all right. You went like this. Like
I had a case of the chills.
Yeah.
I got a chill up my spine.
I was wondering what happened over there.
Picturing you making a connection with Sharna.
Yeah, so I don't think I could handle the criticism. Oh my God, are you okay? You did it again.
What's going on?
Every once in a while he does that.
I'm so cold. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anyone who's into it, but no one's told me that they enjoy that kind of a thing. But if you do, I mean, go ahead. Just take it easy on yourself. I mean, she told the story about a guy beating his own pills up with a set of high heels. Take it easy on yourself. For starters, you don't want to go 0 to 100.
I know when we've talked about this stuff before, like the dominatrixes and stuff, and we used to have one that would join us, and she would say a lot of times it's people in what could be described as powerful positions that like to be dominated.
Yeah,
in her experience, it was that kind of guy or girl.
That's the common.
Interesting.
I remember her. I know you guys are used to me. You're used to me being very humble on this program.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to change gears here. That gal that you're talking about, Josh, wanted me.
I've never heard you say that about any woman ever.
Wanted. All right, here's what happened on the airplane this time. We could do this every day. Oh, someone texted in about the lady, Sharna Beckman. People are texting in. What's her name? How do you spell her name? Sharna. Spell it. Come on, you're a grown person. Sharna Beckman. I'm not going to spell it out on the radio. Here's what happened on the airplane this time. We could do this every day. We really could. A passenger took a squeege into a cup. They were deplaning, as they call it, in the aviation business. They had reached their destination. Everyone's waiting for them to crack the doors, and then everyone gets the hell off the airplane. But apparently one dude, he had to whiz like a racehorse. He couldn't hold her back, and he was drunk. So he let it hang into a cup. He was fined for what he did. Fined. 53-year-old man. I'm a few months shy of 53, and it is a hell of a lot more difficult to hang on to a squirt than it used to be.
When you see stories like this in someone your age, do you at first go, well, that dude's kind of old? I do that quite often and go, oh my God, I'm the same exact age.
No, I don't do that. But I understand where you're going with that.
That happens to me quite often.
I don't want that to happen.
Unfortunately, some lady and her 15-year-old daughter were sitting right by this guy when he hauled it out. The airplane had been on the ground for about 20 minutes. When they heard, the lady and her 15-year-old daughter, they heard what they called the unmistakable sound of urine being shot into a cup. There was one serious casualty. The drunk dude spilled some of his potty on a flight attendant. As he was walking off the airplane.
Yuck. Oh, so close.
They didn't deserve that.
No.
Not at work.
What is that movie where one person is handing another person a bottle or a bucket of urine and they get a little...
Dumb and Dumber?
Mm-hmm. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but explain it to me.
He keeps handing more and more bottles, and then he hands it back to him. He kind of like, gets them on him.
The cop pulls them over. They're peeing in beer bottles. The cop wants, and they're passing. Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah, one of the flight attendants got some of this guy's piss on him. And you know what my grandma used to say back in her day? She'd say, piss isn't funny. Piss is piss. And it's still true today.
I was surprised that, maybe I shouldn't be surprised because we hear about so much disruptive behavior on planes since the pandemic, for whatever reason. In more and more videos, people are crazy. But Air New Zealand said they suspend or ban about 5 or 10 people each month from ever flying on their airline again. Seems like a lot to me.
That's ridiculous these days.
120 people a year can never fly again.
Does seem like a lot, yeah.
What about in 10 years?
Oh, boy, that's a lot of math.
I wanted to see how far you could go.
Oh, that's as far as I could go. But that's a great thing. I'm glad they're telling folks, look, you're just no longer flying here. You can't get on an airplane.
I agree. It's too much.
Get in a car. If you can't handle how an airplane is set up without having a temper tantrum, just get in your car then. You're done.
They're just having a temper tantrum in the car by themselves now.
Well, they likely are those types of people, right?
Talking to themselves.
Nothing's good enough. Everything pisses them off.
Road rage, probably.
Yeah, it's one of those people you look over and you're like, what the hell are they doing?
All right, a couple people have texted in. Back to this Sharna Beckman, the gal on OnlyFans who makes her living humiliating men's penises. They sign up for it. They pay her to say terrible things about their little acorns. A couple people have texted in and said, is this the same woman who took Wapple's money? Probably not, but in case you don't know the story, a number of years ago, we were just effing around, found some lady online who will rate your penis for you. You send her a picture and some money, and then she'll send you an email back saying, I like your penis, or your penis is garbage, right? We knew that there was a good shot a good chance that this was all a scam, and we found out it was. Wapple sent her a picture of his gear, sent her, what was it, $40?
30, something like that. Yeah.
Close enough, and she never said a word back to you. Did she?
No penis rating.
Nope. You just handed her $30 and a picture of your wad.
Now she has my wad.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, our adult actress friend, Jordan Mack, she rates men's penises.
Yeah, she does.
Only men's penises, though. That's her rule.
Mm-hmm. All right, but nobody's quite sure why, but a city in New York called Albany, it straight up smells like urine and unmitigated ass. And the stench, they say, has been hanging in the air since September.
Ew.
The folks that work for something called the State Department of Environmental Conservation have been called on to try to figure out who dealt it. Just a terrible stink hanging over the town. Like I said, it smells a little bit like piss. It smells a little bit like turds. They say the intensity of the stink depends on the weather.
I'd imagine.
Right? Part of the problem is that it comes and goes. So, you're finally able to get a full breath of fresh air one day. It's finally over. The next day, it's right back in your face. The main suspects, they say, are a nearby composting facility. Others think it's low tide from nearby lakes or rivers, and others say it's the neighborhood sewage treatment plant. So there's arguments in town. People are ill-tempered because it just wears on them day after day. Wherever it's coming from, it's driving folks nuts. They say, they're basically saying there's only so many matches they can light. Somebody's got to make it stop before they effing snap. That'd be tough to take.
I'd snap.
Yeah, day after day. If there's an overwhelming stench of urine and flatulence, what city in Minnesota is that, Wapple?
Maplewood?
Maplewood.
Man.
You think Maplewood?
Yeah, Maplewood smells. Oh, actually, no, I changed that back. I'm going to go South St. Paul.
South St. Paul, you say?
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
Once you go over the bridge, boy, you get into the butchering stuff.
Can I just
That
tell you?
stinks.
Can I tell you something? I'm intimidated by everyone in South St. Paul, so I would never say something like that. Everyone I've ever met from South St. Paul could easily kick my ass. Actually, just name a city and you could say the same thing. But specifically them.
Edina.
You're lucky that Doug Woog is gone, or he'd show up and kick your
yeah.
ass for that South St. Paul comment,
Yep.
Wapple. You're effing lucky. I'd like to see Doug Woog kick your ass.
That would be
Now
fun
that
to
you
watch.
bring it up.
I'd kind of be honored if Doug Woog kicked my ass.
Yeah, me too.
He's crying not because of the beatdown. He's just so honored to be in the Woogers' presence.
Thank you, sir.
God rest his soul.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Don't forget your pets on National Pet Day today. Grab a tiny fork for cheese fondue day. Watch out for war machines, it's Submarine Day today. If you're old, you'll remember 8-track tape day. Come on down, party for April 11th. Come on down, party for.
There you go. Here's the deal. I had to hit the sack before the Wolves game was over last night. When I woke up, I found out, damn, they could have used me. They needed me to stick around. They lost to the Denver Nuggets last night by 9 points. What I did watch was a spirited affair. Pretty good ball game between those two clubs. So you know how it is. So for now, Denver has the number ones, and then tomorrow it'll be this, and the next day it'll be that. It's kind of annoying to keep up with at this point. You got the Nuggets, you got the Timberwolves, you got the Thunder. Someone's going to end up with the number one seed. Last night, Denver got the win over our Wolves. That Jokic guy starting to aggravate me a little bit. What's going on? The Wolves will be at home tomorrow night. Twins won.
Hey, how about that?
What the hell's going on now? They got to win. We'll talk to Randy Shaver about that in about a half hour. They're still going to go ahead with that stupid Frozen 4 thing. It's kind of a low-class operation, though. When you look at the roster of teams. Denver, Boston University, Michigan, Boston College. Kind of a low-rent setup without the Golden Gophers in there. But I'm sure there's a lot of people coming to town. Welcome to town, everybody. If you're listening, welcome. With your sad-ass hockey teams. That starts at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock today at the Exxon. Did you see a lot of beer drinkers down there? If we were single guys, Josh, we'd probably go down there and try to find some new stuff.
Those were the days.
Yeah, find some new stuff. Randy Shaver will be here in a half hour, but don't go anywhere because my life partner Cubby's coming up next with his news.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
I'm expecting my second child, which is very, very amazing to say.
Congratulations.
Feels
We're
that
all
way.
with child.
You can say she's pregnant, she's knocked up, anything except with child.
Oh, I love with child. I'm going to be saying it all the time.
Yep.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
yes.
6 feet. I'm with child.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
I want to make sure our community knows what is going on here. I know there's a lot of people concerned. It's our understanding also the deputy, it's non-life threatening, but nevertheless, it's very concerning to us.
2 Hennepin County deputies injured after a suspect is dead after an exchange of gunfire while trying to serve a warrant yesterday morning in Minnetonka. The Minnetonka PD responded to a call for assistance from the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office at 11:20 a.m.
Our Minnetonka officers were dispatched to assist the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, who were at a location in our city on a warrant attempt. It's our understanding that at some point there were shots fired. Deputy had been struck.
The suspect at the location where deputies tried serving the warrant barricaded himself in a residence and fired multiple shots.
I was sitting in the kitchen watching TV with the windows open. Behind our house, I heard about 8 gunshots go off. Not used to hearing gunshots, and I wasn't quite sure. And then I started to hear some sirens. And then another about 10 gunshots went off. And then I heard a lot more sirens. And then another volley went off. So I bet about 30 shots went off.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is investigating the incident. That's another reminder of what's becoming more and more common, a reoccurring issue that law enforcement in Minnesota can't seem to get away from: violence against their officers. Events over the past few months, of course, including what happened in Burnsville, have brought those concerns to the forefront. Data from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension shows while most categories of violent crime are down from pre-pandemic highs, assaults on officers are up. In 2019, there were about 400 violent assaults on Minnesota police officers. In 2023, there were more than 900.
Yeah, people just can't get right, Josh.
Just sad, terribly sad all the way around.
They can't get right.
Florida's Putnam County Sheriff's Office is releasing new details about a traffic stop that sent a deputy to the hospital and blocked traffic last week. A device exploded during the stop, releasing an unknown substance. They stopped 68-year-old David Legholt on Friday afternoon. A deputy searched his vehicle and found drug equipment and a firearm. During that search, an item exploded, covering the deputy in a white powder.
This could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, it could have easily blown his hand off or damaged his face.
The area around the car was blocked off while a hazmat crew responded and determined the powder was chlorine-based.
Within seconds later, it exploded. He loosened a valve that allowed 2 chemicals to join each other. One of them, which appears to be powdered chlorine, and the other some type of automotive fluid, such as brake cleaner or brake fluid.
The man was booked into the Putnam County Jail on charges of possessing an explosive aggravated battery on an officer and possessing a weapon during a felony. The officer was checked out at a local hospital and is said to be doing fine.
Were any of you exceptional in science or What's the other class that might? What's with the combination of chlorine and brake fluid? Does anyone?
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't sound healthy.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
They didn't cover that extensively.
I wouldn't know how to make a bomb at all. If that was the only way to save our lives, we'd all be dead. A 25-year-old Minnesota man's in custody after fleeing police at speeds upwards of 100 miles per hour. A release from the Kandiyohi County Sheriff's Office said on Tuesday morning the man engaged law enforcement in a 19-mile pursuit, which started in Spicer and ended on the northwest side of Wilmer. The Minnesota State Patrol said the motorcycle was clocked at 123 at one point during the chase before the man was eventually taken into custody. Further, in driving-related stories, a couple here out of Nashville. First, 67-year-old Joe Lee Sparks was speeding around 12:19 a.m. Saturday, and he had a unique excuse for his excessive speed. Officers observed his Nissan Murano going 86 in a 70, weaving in and out of traffic. When police pulled him over, he told them his wife had to go to the bathroom, and that caused him to speed. But as officers spoke with Sparks, they noticed he was drunk. They asked if he had anything to drink, and he admitted to having one beer, and then later admitted he may have had a mixed cocktail or two as well. They asked him, using a scale from 1 to 10, to grade himself on his impairment level, to which he replied 3. Then Sparks consented to sobriety tests, performed poorly, and was taken into custody. Also Saturday, in Nashville, 27-year-old musician Mitch Carter crashed his green Ford Mustang into a metal guardrail. A witness stated when he approached, Carter was passed out behind the wheel. Officers questioned him about the incident, and he said he drove to the wrong spot. Then when they asked him to clarify, he told them he didn't remember. When asked about how much he thought he had to drink, he admitted to drinking a medium amount. He also was taken into custody for driving under the influence.
Somewhere's in the middle.
Yeah, right there in the middle, just north of reasonable. A real estate agent was assaulted while setting up for an open house in Palm Coast, Florida over the weekend.
Oh, my God.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office responded to a home about 11 a.m. Saturday after a woman called 911 and told the operator she was just assaulted. This is a creepy story. When deputies arrived, the woman said an older man drove by several times and waved at her before he stopped in front of the home.
Oh, no.
She told him the open house wasn't starting for another 20 minutes. Then when she walked inside, the man, later identified as 78-year-old Carlos Da Silva, followed her in, asking her a series of real estate-related questions and then advising her, it's not safe for you to be alone. That's when the man went to shake her hand, pulled her in tightly, and began kissing her neck. Then, before he left, he took one of her business cards saying, "I'll talk to you soon."
Oh.
Deputies located Da Silva's vehicle and conducted a traffic stop. He claimed he didn't stop in that area of town that day, before changing his story, saying he only stopped briefly to talk to some woman. He then admitted to going in the home, pulling her in for a hug, but said he immediately left after.
Once he started attacking her, she started fighting him off and telling him to stop and leave, which is exactly what you should do.
This creep saw an opportunity to prey on a woman, but I doubt he expected her to bravely fight him off and turn him in, Sheriff Rick Staley said. Because of the victim's quick thinking and the quick work of our team, he found a new home at the Green Roof Inn. The Green Roof Inn is what Staley has dubbed the county jail.
Well, there you go.
Gosh, you hear stories like that, right? These real estate agents sitting alone in a house and creeps come in.
Definitely.
It's not safe for you to be here alone.
There's a lot of crazies out there.
That'd be so scary.
Did you bake fresh cookies for the open house?
I like when they do that.
Yeah, same here.
A 73-year-old man's accused of pointing a large knife at a child because the kid rode his bicycle on the sidewalk and didn't use the bike lane. Police in Florida responded to an intersection Monday about 12:01 p.m. and spoke to the young victim, who told police he was riding his bike home when a man, wearing a sun hat, black sunglasses, and fingerless gloves for some reason, pulled out a large military-style knife and pointed it at him. The boy had told police that the guy advised him to ride his bike in the bike lane, not on the sidewalk. The boy apologized, rode his bike home, and reported what happened. According to the report, the man later admitted to pointing the knife at the boy because he wasn't riding his bike in the bike lane. He also stated that he fully extended the knife at the child because he believed his life was in danger due to his young age.
Just the sight of a 12-year-old or whatever, he thought he was in danger.
He thought this might be it.
You can sort of relate to that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If there is a teenager, I'm walking across the street.
You're terrified of the young people.
Doesn't matter the time of day.
Oh, there's teenagers coming towards me, and there's grizzly bears on the other side of the road. I will take my chances with the grizzly bears.
Apparently this guy not only had the large military-style knife, but he also had a gun on him. Yet that young person, a little too much for him to take.
Did I tell you the story about when I got knifed as a little kid?
No.
We were probably 11 or 12. We were riding our bicycles through a neighborhood, and these older kids on bicycles, probably about 14 or 15, they blocked our path. And one of them pulls out a big fat-ass John Rambo type knife.
Oh.
But I thought it was fake. My dad had gifted my brother and I those hunting knives when we were young kids. And when this kid pulled his knife out, it was so large, I thought, well, that's fake. And I convinced myself it was fake. And he's saying, the kid with the knife, you're not allowed to pass. You're not, this is our neighborhood. You got to get out of here. And because I thought he was joking, I just said, yeah, whatever. And I rode my bicycle towards him, and I grabbed at the knife because I was so convinced it was fake, and it cut my hand open.
Oh. Dude.
You should have seen how I turned on the friggin' jets at that point.
Oh, I would think so.
He caught a pimp.
Oh, I bet that was not his. I bet he was terrified too, because he's like, I did not actually mean to stab you.
I don't know, but he seems psychotic, and he didn't.
I bet he tells the story differently.
Yeah.
Knife this kid.
Dude, that's insane.
They cut the player.
I don't like to hear that at all.
No.
I thought it was bad enough. A buddy of mine he wasn't knifed, but he had a knife pulled on him to steal his starter jacket. And he had saved up for like 2 years to get that.
What team? Well, you tell me what team it was, and I'll tell you if I would have stabbed somebody for it in 1993.
I want you to guess. It was like the one that was the most popular.
L.A. Kings?
L.A. Kings.
Yeah, L.A. Kings or L.A. Raiders.
That was the Kings.
You had to have. There was always some kid in your neighborhood who was like Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, those are really randomly popular, Charlotte Hornets jackets.
What dork got the Charlotte Hornets jacket? Haven't you heard of the L.A. Kings?
He was devastated. An Indiana prosecutor may be in hot water after allegedly pointing his gun at his roommate during a fight over a dirty sink last week. Officers were called to the apartment at about 4 a.m. Friday and spoke with the roommate of 41-year-old prosecutor Jesse Blanton. The victim told police he'd gotten up to get water from the kitchen and saw Blanton sitting in the living room. The victim said that Blanton had returned from a night out and was obviously intoxicated and agitated. Blanton, a deputy prosecuting attorney, allegedly confronted the roommate about the sink being dirty. The roommate, who was reportedly nervous, tried to put off the argument until the next day due to the prosecutor's apparent drunkenness, but Blanton would not let it go. According to the roommate, Blanton followed him down a hallway to his room, then went into his own room, grabbed a gun, and started pointing the firearm at him. Blanton was charged with several felonies. And Delaware County Prosecuting Attorney Eric Hoffman said as far as his employment goes, he'll make a final determination on that in the coming days. Yeah, you might lose your prosecutor job if you do something like that.
That's no good, but it is frustrating to live with someone who doesn't know how to clean out a friggin' sink. I'm learning that first effing hand right now.
Oh, no.
A dental surgeon who allowed a correctional officer to extract 4 teeth from a sedated inmate in central Newfoundland has avoided jail. A judge said Tuesday that although the dentist violated his position of authority and trust, convicting him of a criminal offense and putting him in custody would serve neither the dentist nor the public. The victim was escorted to the dentist's office in October 2020 by 2 correctional officers who were present in the procedure room with a sedated inmate. The dentist said that they showed some interest in the work he was performing, and he got caught up in a teaching moment, which led him to allowing one of the officers to remove 4 teeth from the inmate's mouth while the other one filmed.
God dang.
These guys are really interested in what I do. Hey, why don't you take a shot at this? The 62-year-old dental surgeon pleaded guilty to assault. Prosecutors wanted a 3-month sentence, but the judge disagreed. For his part, the dentist has acknowledged he went too far.
You think?
The victim's impact statement said he suffers from anxiety and paranoia, feels unsafe in his home, and fears he can never go to a dentist again.
Yeah, I would be a little apprehensive about it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he even thought maybe he was sexually assaulted, not knowing what was going on.
Oh, no.
I read a lot of the story was far too long, and I read a lot of quotes from the dentist. You could tell the dude did feel absolutely awful and felt like, I can't believe I did this. How stupid of me to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so flattered that these guys were interested in it.
Got caught up in the moment, he says, huh?
A Florida senior wound up in the hospital overnight after being terrorized by a bulky and belligerent raccoon in a scene a neighbor described as something out of a horror movie. The wild animal attack occurred in St. Augustine Monday night when a 75-year-old woman and her pet pooch were chased into their own home and trapped inside for an hour and a half by the rampaging masked bandit. He was big and very powerful, and it was definitely something that I've never seen before, neighbor and friend John Ness, who helped fight off the raccoon, said.
Once he was in the house, that's when all the real problems started, because we couldn't get him out, and he was on top of me.
No kidding. A raccoon followed him into the house and then jumped on the dude and held him down.
Yeah.
This is probably what happens when you put your crack rocks in the garbage.
Ness said his pal spotted the raccoon about 8 p.m. loitering on her porch, and before long, the bushy-tailed trespasser made a beeline inside, where he proceeded to maul the homeowner and her dog. Ness heard the woman's screams and ran over to help, but the chubby intruder, tipping the scales at about 30 pounds, was in no mood to leave. Even after being repeatedly knifed, the combative raccoon kept lunging at Ness, prompting him to stab him some more.
It's something right out of a horror movie. I actually used the knife as the raccoon was on me to stab it continuously until it finally got off me. And then it actually came back a couple times where I stabbed it a few more times.
Oh, my God.
Ness ultimately called 911, and Florida Fish and Wildlife officers who responded managed to carry off the crazed critter. The homeowner was taken to the hospital to be treated for animal bites to her foot and screened for rabies. Her dog had been vaccinated against rabies and didn't require any medical attention.
I'm telling you, that friggin' raccoon was eating meth rocks out of somebody's trash can.
I don't know. I got chased by a raccoon when I was a kid taking the garbage out, and I don't think anybody in our house was doing crack. That is a scary experience.
One of the coolest memories of my childhood was when our house cat had a fight to the death with a raccoon out by our trash cans. That was awesome.
A 36-year-old Florida man used children to help collect money for a nonprofit that didn't exist. On Sunday, a trooper with the Florida Highway Patrol conducted a traffic stop on 36-year-old Gilbert Jean, who had a suspended license. Troopers noted a young child in the back of Jean's van. When he was asked about the child, he said the juvenile's name was Justin. The trooper also noted a very strong marijuana smell and asked if Jean had a medical marijuana card, which he did not. Troopers then asked the child to exit the vehicle by using the name Justin, which they were given, but the juvenile said his name was actually Brian. It was discovered during the investigation Jean was transporting 4 juveniles from the Orlando area to use them to ask for money from citizens under a fake nonprofit called Awareness Youth that he made up. According to the report, the other children were found in separate locations by other troopers. It should be noted that the kids were left unattended to roam the streets asking for money under Jean's instructions, the report read. Police offered advice on things to consider prior to making any donations.
Be wary of clicking links from unsolicited charity emails and texts. Watch out for companies that ask you to donate using cash, wire transfers, or especially cryptocurrency. Research charities online and verify contact information before you donate.
Troopers said the children kept $4 for every $10 they collected.
It's a damn shame you got folks.
Yeah.
Folks running scams like that with kids. This is why everyone's slamming their doors in the faces of the Cub Scouts these days. You know what I mean?
I wonder.
I don't trust you little peckerheads.
Anytime someone approaches you in a parking lot or coming out of a store with a candy bar for sale or something, I always assume it's a scam.
Yep.
But then again, it's a candy bar. What are you going to do? You got to buy it.
Actually.
School officials in Massachusetts say emergency crews evacuated an intermediate school after a student suffered burns from a district laptop while taking a test. The 6th grade student suffered burns to his left hand Tuesday after his Chromebook malfunctioned. The school-owned laptop began smoking, prompting a building evacuation, officials said. Fire crews responded to clear and ventilate the building, and students and staff eventually returned by about 10:45 a.m.
I think it's just surprising. I don't expect technology to be perfect and everything, but in a sense, I think it needs to be better maintained, especially in places where you're taking it back home.
The 11-year-old was taken to an area hospital with burns and blisters on his hand.
You guys ever have a computer burn up on you?
No,
thankfully not.
Get hot, but that's as close as it's ever
Yeah,
come.
even that can be scary sometimes.
Yeah, thankfully never burned up. AEW wrestler Dustin Rhodes is 55 today, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
24/7, he's nude in his unit, but for 10 to 15 minutes a day, he will go near the windows and he will expose himself and touch himself.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Running the basics, everything is about legs. Like I always say, fat, never pull.
You can't pull fat.
Nope. All those eat right, be careful what you eat, don't eat cheeseburgers. Nah, man, I remember those guys go here drinking 6, 7, 12 Budweiser, give me 3 hamburgers and go get it, boys.
Didn't go on the injured list.
And they play all year long.
Did you just say I was fat?
Well, yeah, you are pretty fat.
Okay, this is news to me.
I hear you. Hey, Randy Shaver.
Are you saying I'm fat?
PHAT.
Oh, thank you, Josh.
You know, Ozzie Guillen, he's nuts.
He's probably mellowed quite a bit since his managing days.
Kind of seems that way.
Friggin' nuts. But every once in a while he says something that grabs you. You know, the Chicago White Sox have had a lot of injury problems. Yesterday, day before, their third baseman Juan Moncada hurt himself running to first base. Luis Robert hurt. Eloy Jimenez. So there's former White Sox manager Ozzie Guillen talking on television. Now he's an analyst for the White Sox. And he pointed out that back in the day, players were not as fit as they are now. And you heard him say, fat never pulls. Muscles do. Fat never pulls.
Yeah, you never hear anybody say, I pulled the love handle yesterday or something like that.
And I guess that's a quote he got from John Kruk. John Kruk would know.
Yeah?
I don't think he spent much time in the gym.
Yeah, John Kruk would know.
And we've had these conversations before, specifically about baseball, where sometimes when guys get too ripped, it ends up hurting their game. Depending on what position you play in the field, there's a certain amount of flexibility you need to play.
Not just that, but swinging a bat.
Yeah.
And your oblique muscles and all the things that go into swinging the bat. There's a lot. You're doing some things as guys talk about. You're doing some things. Dick Bramer said the other day, the arm wasn't intended necessarily to throw a baseball 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So you're doing things with your body that, yes, it can do, but if you do it, over and over and over a long period of time, there's probably a good chance that you're going to damage it in one way or another.
That's pretty interesting. Fat never pulls.
Yes, I never heard of Wilbur Wood pulling a hamstring muscle.
Right. They were built
Boog
different.
Powell.
Boog Powell? The guy had a beer belly.
He was a big man.
Yeah.
Man. Him and Frank Howard, those two guys were just monster guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a different approach nowadays.
Certainly.
Baseball might be still the exception. There are still guys. Well, and there are NBA. Look at Jokic. That guy doesn't hang out in a gym.
Oh, gosh, I would disagree. I think that guy's in amazing condition for his size.
No, don't get me wrong. Cardio, absolutely. Look at Jokic. Jokic doesn't have any muscle at all. What are you talking about?
Oh, I disagree. I think that's deceiving. I think he does.
What do you mean? I watched him for an hour and a half wear a tank top last night.
So did I. I disagree. I think that he's
in great condition, but he's not muscular.
Well, I think you can't play that game the way he does and not have muscle. He's not ripped like David Robinson, but
that's what we're talking about. I mean, Look at the guy from the Dallas Mavericks who never stops crying. What's his name again? Luka Doncic. Look at Patrick Mahomes, right? They showed that picture of him, right, with his shirt off.
Sure. Again, they're not ripped like a David Robinson, but they still are solid people. They're still built well.
I don't know. I have a feeling if you took your index finger and poked Jokic in the arm, I bet your finger would sink. There's a difference between being conditioned and being muscular. If we're talking about,
yes, I agree with that, but you can't play this game without having some type of muscle mass. You just can't.
I think we're kind of arguing the same thing here, I think.
Well, maybe we
at any rate. Yeah. What the hell's going on?
He sure outplayed Gobert last night, I'll tell you that.
Well, he outplays everybody. He outplays everybody. I got to see the first 3 quarters of last night's
let me tell you.
Then the lights went out.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, Denver did if you were going to coach against the Timberwolves, they did it against this current Timberwolves team without Cat. Their defensive plan was perfect in the fourth quarter. Don't let Ant shoot and let McDaniels shoot. Because that's what they did. And McDaniels could not hit a thing. And they missed. I mean, they were held to 14 points in the fourth quarter until the reserves were put in the game. And the reserves scored like 13. So it made the fourth quarter scoring between the two teams look competitive, but it was not. It was not competitive in the fourth quarter.
Anthony Edwards couldn't come up with one basket in the fourth quarter.
No, because they played great defense against him, and they made him denied him the ball or get rid of the basketball. He took very contested shots. They just manhandled the Wolves in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
116-107 was the final. So now Denver has the number 1 spot on the Western
for now,
Conference.
I mean, things can change.
I know. It's silly that we even have these conversations because it's so close between the Wolves and the Nuggets and the Thunder. It could go in many different directions.
It's doubtful, though, that the Nuggets will give this up at this point. I think they close out against Memphis and San Antonio.
Oh,
yeah.
They're not going to lose those 2 games, not with the position that they have. And for the Wolves now, if you eliminate the number 1 spot and say, okay, they're not going to get there, where will they end up? Who could they end up playing? It's still a real hodgepodge between New Orleans and Phoenix and Sacramento and could be the Lakers. Who knows? I mean, it's either way. Any of those matchups are going to be very difficult matchups for the Timberwolves. There's just no doubt about it.
What the hell? So Jokic scores 41 points, his 20th career 40-point game. He made 16 of 20 shots. That's fairly accurate.
And he did it against likely the best defensive center in the NBA in Gobert.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you how talented he is. Clearly the MVP of the league. I'm sorry. Just is.
You don't have to apologize to anybody. Wolves host the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night. The Atlanta Hawks.
And Atlanta has nothing to play for. They're stuck in the 10 spot, basically, in the East. So they get Trae Young back. So they're just trying to be healthy enough to go into that play-in game against the Bulls and do their best. So it's not like you're going to get... I mean, this is the chance now for the Wolves, if they want to rest a guy or two, right? Because they likely feel like that number 1 spot's not going to happen.
That could be. I mean, I'll tell you what. I saw the first 3 quarters. There was definitely a carnival-like and playoff-like atmosphere in the arena. That
Absolutely.
was a spirited damn affair between the two clubs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe we'll end up seeing them in a playoff series.
Well, if you do, they'll have the home court advantage. So, via being the number 1 seed. But can the Wolves win there? Sure they can. This Wolves team is capable of doing more things than maybe any other Wolves team in history.
Oh, without a doubt. The sky's the limit.
But they're going to have to play almost perfect games against competition like Denver in order to do that.
Here's a text from Angry Bus Driver Jesus talking about old school athletes compared to modern day athletes. The only injuries some of the old timer athletes had were to their livers.
Yeah.
Which they patched themselves up with a few more beers before the game started.
Pro sports back in the day was a drinking man's game. Hey, Josh, earlier we were talking about starter jackets.
Yeah.
Only poops while punched in, Jesus. You know what starter jacket he had back in the day?
Which one?
And this is I'm picturing it. Cool color scheme. You got the blue and the gray. Georgetown.
Oh, really?
He had a Georgetown Hoyas starter jacket.
I wanted one of those so bad.
You wanted a starter jacket?
Definitely.
I never really fell for that.
Early high school, they were so popular.
Randy, if you would have been 13 years old in 1993, what starter jacket would you have gone for?
Oh, I don't know. I probably I don't know. Did the Lakers have one?
Oh yeah,
every team had one.
Probably the Lakers.
Yeah, you would have went Lakers, and you would have been bugging everybody about Jarrah West all day long, talking about Jarrah West.
Probably.
When I grew up in the 90s, the Chicago Bulls and Dallas Cowboys were the two big ones, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, jerseys weren't a thing when I was a high school kid.
No.
They weren't a thing. Everyone knows it was like the mid to late 90s when suddenly jerseys took off.
Only your local high school, like if you were on the football team and you wore your jersey on Friday at school. That's really the only time you ever wore a jersey.
But I do remember one of my friends had an NFL jersey, and I was so envious of him because it was cool looking and it was a great player. And I even asked him, this is totally high school, junior high, right? I asked him if I could borrow it and wear it as if it was my own, just one day. It was a Steve Largent Seattle Seahawks jersey.
That's awesome.
It was sweet, Randy. Steve Largent.
Yes.
Back to starter jackets for a second. The vintage ones, they get sold online because people want the old school ones. And one of the most sought after ones, it doesn't pop up on eBay very often, but when it does, it's usually over $300. A Minnesota Moose starter jacket.
Minnesota Moose, who then went to Winnipeg. I can't remember what official league they were a part of. A guy I went to high school with played for the Minnesota Moose for a little while.
Really?
I went and watched one of their games, yeah. Somebody tell me, what was that? What league did they even play in, the Minnesota Moose?
Was that part of the St. Paul Saints deal?
No, this was hockey.
No. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
There was a Saints team. Hockey team.
You're talking about the Fighting Saints and whatnot?
Oh, the Fighting Saints. Yeah, right. Yeah. Is that the same league?
I have no idea because those two teams were separated by, 40 years or so, 30 years.
It's like the Moose were in the International Hockey League.
IHL, okay. The Saints were, I don't remember. That's such a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Then you had the, who am I missing? I had somebody else in mind. Another team in mind. Do the St. Paul Vulcans still exist?
Mm-hmm.
They do?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Winter Carnival?
Yeah, the Winter Carnival.
Oh, no. The guys who ride around in a fire truck yelling, no, you
They're
goofy
still
bastards.
around, Waffle, you're right.
The hockey team, the St. Paul Vulcans.
Wapple wasn't wrong.
That's true. You were right, Wapple.
No, a couple guys I know played for the Vulcans.
So it looks like the franchise of the St. Paul Vulcans is still around, but they're now called the Tri-City Storm.
Oh, I don't like that. That's a lame name. Tri-City Storm. Don't feed me that nonsense, Randy.
That'd be sweet to have a St. Paul Vulcans jersey. That logo was badass.
I don't remember the logo. I don't.
Looks like a little devil.
Oh, I'd have to see it again. Yeah, the starter jacket craze. That was something. There was a young fella that I worked with when I was 19 years old at a warehouse who had a North Stars starter jacket. And man, I was envious of that dude. But I never thought that I would look the part in a starter jacket. And I think I was a little too old for that movement. At least that's the way I looked at it. By the time when those things were hot, I was a little...
Having that big pouch with the zipper was really handy. You carry a lot of good stuff in that big pouch.
Yeah, you bring marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Couple beers.
Yep.
Car keys, house keys, keys to the camper. This is effing dumb. Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. He's had to respond. Well, I guess he didn't have to. He could have just said nothing, but he felt obligated to respond to you social media dorks who accused him of getting a toupee. So there was a video going around. Is this the new toupee gimmick we were talking about a couple weeks ago, Josh, where there's this super adhesive glue and they stick it to the top of your head and you can even take a shower and it'll stay?
Yeah, this one to me looked pretty fake though, because remember the ones we saw, it could be on a completely bald person, like nothing even around the sides, and it looked legit. But this one to me
looked a little cheaper.
Yeah. It didn't look like that's something to me. Like if you saw it, you'd go right away. That is not real.
Okay. See, the social media people, they always they just panic and they jump to conclusions. There's a video going around of a younger looking man having a toupee glued to the top of his skull, and for whatever reason, everyone thought that's Devin Booker. And he had to go on Twitter or whatever and say, no. That's not me.
Can you see that very well?
I can. Oh, yeah.
The color's completely different.
It looks
than the
pretty bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
That looks pretty fake.
Kind of looks like carpeting, almost.
Devin Booker has a gorgeous head of hair. What is he, 26 years old? He ain't going. That ain't going anywhere. Hanging out with the Kardashians and whatnot. Isn't he dating one of the Kardashians?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't.
You have to ask Janelle.
That's more
sure.
Janelle or Ashley.
No, it says right here, Booker and his girlfriend Kendall Kardashian.
Oh, really?
Or Kendall
it's Kendall Jenner.
Kendall
But
Jenner.
she's technically one of. I did not know that.
They're supposedly back together. It says here.
Oh my God!
After she split up with a dude called Bad Bunny.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
I almost forgot about that train wreck.
Bad Bunny is a great wrestler.
Oh, that's the guy.
Dude, that's the dude that did the Canadian Destroyer on someone.
I remember that now. Yeah, he performed in a WrestleMania 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm glad he's good at something.
He wasn't bad. You know what rapper sucks at wrestling? Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, he tried to do the elbow drop?
Yeah, was that AEW?
Yeah, it was.
Now, don't get me wrong. He looked like he was having a great time. So it's not as if I was, upset. Okay, whatever. You let him have some fun. But he could have used a little more practice.
Snoop Dogg did commentary over this previous WrestleMania for a match.
Oh,
yeah, I heard people. I had a couple clips of that the other day. I heard people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, he was good. Like when he did the hockey announcing, I think he was a hockey commentator. That was pretty funny.
Dude, people are texting in saying they had what was the fake football team with that television show coach?
The Screaming Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They made a starter jacket for that, too.
People had that starter jacket. The Minnesota State Screaming Eagles phony college football team.
So funny they made a starter jacket based off a fake sitcom team.
Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Jerry Van Dyke, that would have been one of the worst television shows ever created.
Probably, yes.
That show was so stupid with the exception of Jerry Van Dyke, who was brilliant. All right, we're going to get to this Shohei stuff now. There's news on Shohei and his gambling scandal, but I wanted to throw this your way, Randy, because I don't know if we had brought it up, and mainly because this stuff kind of burns me out, but we'll go in this direction anyway. Toronto Raptors ball player by the name of Jonte Porter. You've probably read about this, right, Randy Shaver?
I'm not sure.
Okay. This Jonte Porter, not a big name. I don't even think he plays a lot of minutes for the...
Nope.
Doesn't play any minutes now because he's in trouble. And it's gambling related. He could be kicked out of the league if the accusations against him are true. And that's the words of Adam Silver. Speaking of a guy who could use a wig. I mean, that dude ain't got a lick of hair on his Scaldini. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, said he could be thrown out of the league. He hasn't played since they started looking into betting patterns surrounding his on-court performance. And here are the specifics. The investigation surrounded a couple of games he played this year, and both of those games he played briefly before leaving, citing injury or illness, and did not come close to the numbers that were offered to bettors as prop bets in those games. That means those who basically bet against Porter would have cashed in because he left those games before reaching the line set by, you guys know how it works.
Yep, yep.
So they thought it was kind of fishy. Oh, you're sick. Oh, you got something wrong with your knee. He left these games. And some sports books have said they were alerted to odd betting patterns surrounding prop bets on this Jonte Porter character. Shady. Sounds shady.
Very shady. And obviously can easily happen. If a player is in tune with what's going on, knows how those things work, somebody ges to him, says, hey, we can do this. All you got to do is not finish the quarter or whatever it might be. Sure.
And it's so much easier when you're trying to get to one guy in his stat line versus a whole team.
Usually when you do a prop bet, more times than not, your team, you're parlaying it, you're putting it together with other prop bets just because it allows you to make more money on the bet. But you can do the single prop bet for sure. And maybe that's what they were seeing. All of a sudden, a lot of people are betting on Jonte Porter in a prop bet. Why are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what will happen is those sports books, when they see those kind of things, or they feel like there's a trend or something happening, they may raise that number or lower the number, or whatever it might be, just to kind of see where the betting trend continues to go, right? So they have ways of kind of gauging what that looks like for every player that they put out there. The one that I'm familiar with, the prop bet site, is one that will it's Prize Picks, and what they will do is, instead of just giving one number, they will do 3 different numbers on a player. And the only choice you would have is to choose higher, or the only choice you have is to choose lower. And they will set those numbers. Obviously, if they set a number higher and you hit it, you'll make more money. But they now give you way more options, and I think that's also just their way of gauging, if people are gravitating towards one person or not.
So this is the latest story, because in the NBA this year there's been and then of course Major League Baseball, there's been a few of these gambling stories. You remember what Rudy Gobert, the refs are on the take. This is the latest story. And so if they find out this guy was legitimately dumping out of ball games to make some folks some money, he's going to be a goner. A listener says there is video somewhere of this Jonte Porter guy making a basket and looking visibly upset that it went in. I didn't see that video.
What'd I do? I'm going to get my thumbs broken.
My facial expression is usually surprise when it goes in. As is the crowd's.
What else is going on around here? Okay, so the Twins, they only scored 3 runs in their series finale against the Los Angeles Dodgers, but they got the damn win.
Yeah, it's all they needed, which is pretty unusual when you play the Dodgers, that 3 runs will get you a win. But
yeah, a lot of credit to the pitching and the defense. There were some great plays made in the field.
Well,
there was Vasquez throwing a guy out to throw up to the plate by Correa. There were some great defensive plays. That relay by Correa saved the game in the throwing out at the plate. That was a great play. And they got some, Julian hit a couple of home runs yesterday, which is great. 3 hits,
The bullpen pitched really well. Griffin Jacks had, struck out the side. Okert ends up earning his first save. So there was a lot of
lefty on the roster. New lefty, Stephen Okert.
Yep, there were a lot of positives from yesterday's game, and this team needed that. This team, there's, as I saw on Twitter yesterday, there is a difference between 3-7 and 4-6. You feel a lot better about yourself after you can beat the Dodgers in one game before you take off on a road trip. So. Yeah.
And that's where they go next. They start up a series in Detroit, begins this afternoon.
Yeah. We're going to see the Tigers for the first time. We're going to see, this team has been, as we've talked about before, they've revamped themselves. Their whole philosophy about, their approach to free agency and building from within, all of that is starting to take place for them with all their young players. They got off to a great start. They have slowed down a lot since. They're 7-4 on the year, and look at the standings right now. Not that it means anything right now, but Cleveland is off to a great start. Kansas City has won 6 in a row after starting 2-4, and the Twins are in 4th place right now. And again, super early. It's not going to matter much, but at least for right now, this division doesn't look as bad as it's been projected to be.
And by the way, yesterday they squashed a notable streak, the Twins did, when Buxton got that RBI hit in the 3rd inning. That ended an 0 for 33 streak with runners in, by God, scoring position.
Well, hopefully you build off of that and you don't let another streak begin, right?
Right.
Hopefully that's just the beginning of better at-bats with runners in scoring position.
I'm sorry to go back to this gambling stuff if it just confuses the hell out of you, because it confuses the hell out of me. But there is some... What's that?
Same here.
It confuses the hell out of me, too, but these are big stories, and this is the Shohei thing, Shohei Ohtani. Apparently, the drama involving Shohei took a dramatic turn yesterday. At least that's how the website Yardbarker puts it here. So... his former interpreter, this Ippei Mizuhara guy, he's accused of stealing millions from Ohtani. The allegations were that Mizuhara stole $4.5 million to pay off a gambling debt with an illegal bookmaker. Authorities believe they've uncovered how he pulled off the scam. So authorities think they have evidence that Mizuhara was able to change the settings on Ohtani's bank account so Ohtani would not receive alerts and confirmations about transactions. So it says here in the article, this is what it says in the article. It appears that the league's best star is now off the hook, and so is Major League Baseball, who could have taken a terrible blow to its integrity.
It does look like that. It also says, the story says that he is in negotiations to plead guilty. The interpreter. My question is, how did he get your bank information? Yeah. What the hell is he doing with that?
Well, they were tight friends, right?
Yeah, but I have close friends. They don't have my bank account information.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, that's what you have an agent for. Your agent is the person who helps guide you financially, not your interpreter.
I was thinking maybe he has access to his phone. You know, I mean, cops will tell you don't have all your bank information on your phone.
What I meant by but you still have passwords and things, right, Josh? I mean, you just can't pick up somebody's phone.
Right. Let's say you have a phone, though, which, most people do. You can program, let's say I take Dana's phone, which I've done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can program, like, your face or your fingerprint in it, right?
So
then you can open it without maybe somebody knowing. So I have no idea if that's how it happened, but that's what I was picturing. Is he just got access to his phone?
But opening his phone is one thing. Actually, getting into bank accounts, there's got to be passwords or wait.
Yeah, mine has like 3 different steps I have to go through.
Right.
But wait a minute.
I can,
on my app.
Well, then maybe I have one that's a lot easier. I can just type in the name of the app, open it, and there's my bank account. Oh,
really?
And that is a very low balance.
Oh no! But here's the thing. They were very close friends. This is where I was going with that. And you got to remember, this was his interpreter, so he wasn't just. This is a guess, but I think I'm onto something. He wasn't just used for interviews. He was used for records, like your banking, and you see what I'm saying?
Like a personal assistant, almost.
Like an assistant. That's what I thought it was. When the bank sends Ohtani a statement about this or that, maybe he handed it to his interpreter because that's your job, dude. Interpret what this says.
I see that for sure. Yes,
I don't know.
But how he would have access to changing that, well, maybe he would. I don't know.
So the article makes it sound like it's over now, but it all sounds too simple and easy to me.
It does sound too easy.
It is a little suspicious, isn't it?
I got a funny feeling about this.
But I will say this, though, Nick. If the feds are charging this guy, then they have done their due diligence.
Okay.
Right?
I'll trust the feds.
So I'm going to guess at this point that this guy is going to definitely be charged with this and take the fall, and it's going to be done.
All right. But what about the stats we saw where there were some odd betting patterns connected to Ohtani's performances?
Again, I can't explain that. It's just that was a couple of articles that were written that people did research and tried to correlate the two. So.
Got a text here, someone saying that interpreters, it's very common for them to handle literally everything in the players' lives.
Right.
They paying bills, setting up bank accounts, everything.
Yeah. It's not just for television interviews. I mean, he's got a lot of different things going. Whatever.
Eastbound at sundown, Jesus says to me, "Oh, you've got a positive balance? Humble brag must." I said it was a very low balance.
It is low. You deserve better treatment than that around here, Josh.
Oh, man.
Let's see if you can handle this here, okay? It's a mind blower right here. The Baltimore Orioles have called up their top prospect, Jackson Holliday.
Yes.
A day or two ago, or whenever, it doesn't really matter, the Milwaukee Brewers called up their top prospect, Jackson Churio.
Well, Churio wasn't called up. He made the roster out of spring training.
Okay, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The San Diego Padres opened the season with their top young star in center field, Jackson Merrill.
Correct.
The 3 youngest players in Major League Baseball are all named Jackson.
What kind of surprised me is it's all spelled the same. Because you see a lot of Jacksons now that have alternate spellings, but all 3 have the exact same spelling.
Now you know who Jackson Holliday's dad is, right?
I'm going to go ahead and say Matt
Billy.
Holliday.
That's Matt Holliday. That's correct. Jackson Holliday almost made the roster out of spring training. He's like 21 years old, and they didn't bring him up right away, but he was ripping it up in AAA to start the season. And Tony Kemp, you know that name. Tony Kemp's been around for a while.
Matt Kemp's son.
Well, Tony Kemp signed with the Orioles near the end of spring training.
I've heard the name, yes.
And was playing on their roster. Well, they basically cut him to make room for Jackson Holliday. And Kemp sent out a great statement on Twitter yesterday praising Jackson Holliday and saying, I saw Jackson Holliday when he was like 8 years old, swinging the bat around his dad or his dad's brother or somebody, and he said, this kid's on his way, which is pretty classy when you've been let go and this young kid basically takes your roster spot. So.
Remember the videos of Prince Fielder when he was 6? He could hit a baseball into the upper deck.
There's some great videos out there right now on X of Jackson Holliday with his dad, Matt Holliday, when he was all the way growing up, out on the field during, batting practice and swinging the bat and all those kind of things. And to think that kid right now, and I think he had a big RBI last night, and it was his debut last night in Boston.
So there's a Jackson movement in Major League Baseball. The 3 youngest players in the game are all named. Names are fun. We've had fun talking about names on this here program. The trendy name thing is fun to follow. A certain baby name becomes cool, and every damn set of parents on earth dumps that name on their kid. And then some of them are likely shocked and insulted to learn that everybody gave their kid that same name. Originality is so important, it seems, today to a lot of baby makers.
Some people are very protective. They won't say what the name's going to be.
I know, that's very odd. I find that to be very odd.
They don't want you to use it.
Look, it's not that big of a damn deal.
I had a buddy a couple of years ago. He had their first kid, and they were doing the secretive, won't say the name until it's born. He finally reveals a name like it's some big thing, and I go, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, my cousin actually named their daughter that 6 months ago, and his face just dropped. He thought they had come up with the most unique baby name on the planet. It was actually something pretty common.
It's this weird little battle that parents have with each other. I don't get. It makes me think, though, again, I have to tell this story. I saw this online. It must be a decade ago at this point. There was some Canadian all-star team, some Canadian under-18 all-star team or something that I saw online. And they were featured online because every single kid on the team, I think except for one, had a name that featured the Aiden trend that took over baby names for a while. The roster was mesmerizing to look at. 19 of the 20 kids were named Jaden or Hayden or Caden or Braden. I believe there was a Graydon and a Layden in there. And then the other kid was named Easton or CCM or something hockey related, Jofa or Mission or Coho or something. But it was just the coach must have had a breakdown at one point. You know what I mean? He can't shout any of those names without every kid looking his way.
Well, maybe that's a good thing, though. You get everybody's attention.
I can tell you, with my my stepdaughter, it was tough remembering her friends' names because they all did rhyme. They all ended with an E sound. So keeping kids, separating who's who would get a little difficult.
So Kaylee and Heidi.
Yeah, like Abby, Kylie. Molly. There's so many E's at the end, it was tough.
Randy, what was the most common first name for gals and first name for guys when you were, say, at your high school?
Oh, gosh.
For me, I would say For guys, it was either Mike, Mark, or Jason. We had so many Jasons you couldn't see straight. And for girls, I think the easy answer, we had more Jennifers than you could
Well, we
handle.
had quite a few Beths.
Beth?
When I was
Sexy name.
growing up, and then I would say boy's name probably Dave.
Word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with
Probably
Nick.
Dave.
We had a lot of Michaels. No Michael went by Michael. It was always the last name.
Pardon me?
We had so many Michaels when I grew up in middle school and high school that none of them went by Michael or Mike. They all just went by their last name to differentiate them all.
We did that with Zachs. A lot of Zachs growing up.
The Savannah Bananas. Okay, you guys like that gimmick still?
Love them.
The Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They're taking another step forward, I guess you might say. They've got a new streaming deal, whatever streaming is. They're going to be showing 19 games in their baseball season on something called Stadium and something called Bally Live, and they'll be free and they have no ads.
I'd duck into some of those for sure.
The first game will be streamed tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be hard to have ads in their games because they probably do a bunch of stuff during.
In between innings.
Oh, yeah, that's when the magic happens.
In between innings, Wapple, that's when they got to have a pie eating contest.
All right, bases loaded. We're going to take a commercial so we can come back for the sack race.
All right, here comes our viral TikTok dance segment.
Yep. So you can find them, and they're doing their Major League Baseball stadium tour. But I don't think they're coming to Target Fields.
I think the closest they get is Iowa.
Yeah, I looked at it. Every year when they release a schedule, I look. I'd love to go see them.
The Iowegians, when did they get a Major League Baseball team, the Iowegians?
I think it's minor league baseball stadiums they're going
probably
to.
the team in Des Moines, probably.
The Cows.
They're not the Cows.
That's what they call the Iowegian big league team, and I'd be envious of that. The Cows.
Wasn't that South Park's mascot?
Yeah, the South Park Cows.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Sounds right.
The Green Bay Packers will open the 2024 football season against the Philadelphia Eagles in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They got to go everywhere, Randy Shaver. The NFL's got to make a stop every damn place you can think of.
Yeah. It's all about money, man.
Each team's like gonna have their home country. You know, like the Eagles, they're always playing in Germany or. Now
Doesn't Jacksonville don't they play? Isn't London like Jacksonville?
Jacksonville's played in London more than they played in Jacksonville the last few years.
Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, I like the sound of that place because there's such metal fans there. Maybe we'll look into the stands if you watch this game and see a lot of Iron Maiden t-shirts or something because they love metal.
They do. I wonder if they'll have a cool halftime show or something.
Oh,
dude, get Maiden to play the halftime show.
They'd have to have 3-4 stadiums sewn together to fit all the fans that would go see that.
What if Jordan Love was late for the game because he was at Miss Boom Boom contest?
Oh. He's too much of a punk to go to a Miss Boom Boom contest. Whatever the hell they call.
My bad.
If you hit the bars in St. Paul today, you'll find a little bit of extra humanity. The Frozen Four starts today at 4 o'clock at the Xcel Energy Center. The NCAA Men's College Hockey Frozen Four. Randy Shaver, they start off with Denver and Boston University.
Yep.
And then after that, Michigan and Boston College. The Denver people are probably pretty cool. Denver people are probably laid back.
Mm-hmm.
The Boston U and Boston College people are going to exhaust themselves one-upping each other at the bars this afternoon, I think.
They don't even make it to the game.
They're one-uppers out there. They're massholes. The Boston people listen to Aerosmith. Oh, God.
God.
Come on. There's nothing wrong with Aerosmith.
There's a lot wrong with Aerosmith.
They're coming to town. I'd imagine you'll be there, Nick.
I've seen Aerosmith.
Farewell tour.
Awesome.
Are they really good live?
I saw them live. I saw them live 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just that Stephen Riley.
Tyler.
What the hell's his name? Tyler. I want to kick him in the balls. The Michigan people.
Why are you such an old man? Stop.
What makes me an old man?
You're griping about everything. Get off my lawn.
Is this your first time on the friggin' program?
No, it's not. But
let's go Denver. Pioneers all the way.
What about Michigan? You're not a Big Ten guy.
Douchebags.
They're not wearing khakis.
Get the hell out of my town and turn that music down. What is that, Aerosmith? Dream on again.
Shaking his fist at the sky. Damn you, clouds!
Just let a guy go off once in a while. If you don't, my head will explode or something. You don't want to clean that mess up.
All we got to do is just pull up a couple pictures of the Miss Bum Bum competition. That'll cool you off real quick.
Yeah. I'm not the only one that gets aggravated when Aerosmith comes up. Look at Wapple over there.
Yeah, I can't.
Smoke coming out of his ears.
Can't stand it.
Yeah, his mouth.
Sydney.
It's too big for his face.
The Twins game got delayed today.
The Twins game got delayed
They're
today?
playing a doubleheader on Saturday. Just came across.
Oh, in Detroit today, they're raining or something?
Raining in Detroit, doubleheader on Saturday.
Well, balls Mahoney.
I was looking forward to a new baseball game today.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Randy calls that the businessman special.
Wapple's over it, I guess.
Well, that's too bad.
He's over his anger. Giggling at that old line?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back. Wapple's
Haven't heard it
back.
in a while.
Yeah, you kind of went off there for a little bit, Wapple.
He's back. Pittsburgh Penguins' Sidney Crosby was named the NHL's most complete player for this hockey season at 36 years old. And that was decided by other players. They've got this new player poll they've been doing the last few years, and they ask the players, who's the best at this? Who sucks? What city do you like? What do you... And the players named Sidney Crosby the most complete player. He beat out Cal Portner and Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. He also finished second in the poll concerning the player you'd most want to take a face-off for your team. A face.
Mm-hmm.
Off.
For just a second, I looked at the machine I have in my office going, is this thing working?
Have you ever seen the movie Face Off?
I want to take his face
Yes.
off. Ryan O'Reilly of the Nashville Predators was the player that finished ahead of Crosby in that face-off category. Did the pigs factor in here? No. Well, I guess which NHL arena has the best ice? 9% of the players said the XL Energy Center. Most of the players said the Bell Center. What is that, Montreal?
No, that's
not
Colorado.
Montreal. Okay, I don't know.
Or is that the Ball Arena?
There's a Ball Arena?
I'll show you.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't know the names of these joints anymore. I don't guess it's all that's corporate crap. Corporate, don't get me wrong, corporate radio rules. We win.
You love corporate radio.
We win every time.
Yeah, the Ball Arena's Colorado.
Well, then the Bell Center's got to be Montreal.
It is.
They used to call it the Forum. I don't know. So the players like the ice here in town. And here's the latest NHL rumor. The Arizona Coyotes could relocate to Salt Lake City, Utah as soon as next season.
Talk about a party there.
Do Mormons want to go to a hockey game on a Saturday night?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're putting together a plan to move the Coyotes maybe to Salt Lake City.
What a busy place that will be with basketball and hockey. Come on.
In the wintertime, there'll
be so much to do there.
A lot of people driving around, going to the game.
There was a lot of talk that Salt Lake might be the destination for Oakland while they waited for their stadium to be built too. So obviously that didn't happen. They're going to end up in Sacramento, but still, that might be the next city to get some teams. You never know.
All this moving around, it aggravates me. Not as much as Aerosmith aggravates me, but it gets me going a little bit. So they might move to Salt Lake. Any relocation plans have to go through the owner. Okay, the plan is to sell the Coyotes to the owner of the Utah Jazz, who, of course, is Karl Malone.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Hornacek is a minority owner, too.
Yeah, Hornacek's in there, Thurl Bailey, John Stockton. What was his name with the glasses? Carr. Antoine Carr is also involved. That's it. You know, the Arizona Coyotes thing, it just never worked. It was a bad idea from the get-go. Bad idea from the get-go. And some great players have come through there. Shane Doan.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Doan was a great player for a lot of years. Keith Kachuk played there. Jeremy Roenick, Timu Solani. Who else played there?
Didn't Gretzky coach for a little bit there?
That sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Roastmaster Jesus brings up a great point about this idea. How expensive is it going to be for a man to take his 4 wives and 12 kids to a hockey game in Utah?
So pricey.
That is not affordable. You're right.
That is brilliant.
Roastmaster Jesus is good for a brilliant text a couple times a day.
You know who else is involved in that Utah Jazz ownership, Randy Shaver? Mark Eaton. You know who else? Howard Isley. Howard Isley is in there.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit here and name off every Utah Jazz player I can think of, but...
Thurl Bailey.
I mentioned him already.
Oh, you did.
That's one mark against Randy.
Oh, again, not paying attention.
Beetle Bailey.
You're starting dad fights tomorrow at -1.
I hear you. All right, Randy, there you go.
Brad just heard that, and he's going to have a receipt.
He's going to play the audio on his phone for us tomorrow. Yeah, we remember, man.
I'm a real sucker for stuff on Twitter that takes you down a rabbit hole. And
sure.
I saw this yesterday, and I wanted to say this to you, Nick, because I think you'll appreciate it. There's a site called Baseball History Nut, and they put out these little quips.
I've busted one of those.
Okay. Get this. In 1997, Greg Maddux pitched in a 3-0 count once the entire season. It does not include intentional walks.
That is
but
hilarious.
He pitched a 3-0 count once in 1997.
That is a hell of a stat.
That kind of stuff, I just read it and I go, God, you got to be kidding me.
That's
just
great.
Amazing.
Now, like we mentioned to Dick Bramer, I think last time he was on, Greg Maddux was an incredibly talented pitcher, but also the strike zone was as big as your grandmother's ass when Greg. He got the benefit of every effing call. Used to drive me nuts, but that is a great stat.
And we did miss one thing the other day when we were talking about the Celtics and not shooting any free throws.
Yes.
They shot 52 threes that night and 0 free throws.
See?
That tells you everything you need to know about the NBA right now.
You're on the perimeter all night long.
52. That's why you're not going to the foul line.
Yep.
You're shooting 52 3-point.
Oh, God, help us. That's great. Greg Ostertag is part of the Utah Jazz ownership. We got to go, Randy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Kevin Millar, we're all paying rent in Ohtani's world, right?
And the Dodgers world. Game is healthy, game is good. And, I get asked a lot, is that good for baseball? Yeah, it's good for baseball. This is definitely the team to beat because that should be your next correction, Richie, is this World Series a bust for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts?
Hell yeah. Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
They want to glorify the fact that they're criminals. It's dumb. These guys are dumb. They deserve to be tossed under the jail just for being dumb.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Well, it is 8:34. The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show setting here Thursday morning. It ain't easy living with someone. Girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, life partner, side piece, whatever your setup might be. It can drive you nuts living with someone, you're used to things being a certain way. They do it completely differently than you do. You like it quiet. They're loud. You like it dark. They want bright lights. You like music. They like Aerosmith. Sometimes your partner is gross, but you put up with it because they have sex with you. Let's cut to the chase. You know what I'm talking about? You put up with it just simply because they'll do sex with you. You know what I mean?
People.
Right. And you put up with it. The internet says right here, do you have to deal with a partner picking their nose without even trying to be discreet about it? Do they bite their nails? See, whenever we talk gross stuff, that's always thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't get what's gross about biting your own. Anyway.
What if it's toenails?
Oh, well, that changes things, of course.
Shows great flexibility.
Is your partner a nose picker? Do they forget to flush the toilet? People on social media are talking about the grossest things their partner does that you've just come to accept because they'll touch your pee-pee. Or for whatever reason. But if you cut to the chase, it's strictly, well, this person will have sex with me. I'll put the grossest things a partner does, and you've come to accept it.
Well, I'm going to say the grossest thing my wife does is have sex with me. I think it's disgusting. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but she does do that from time to time.
Should be illegal.
You are a little grossed out by the whole act. You always have been. It's nothing against your wife. You've just always found sex to be kind of icky.
I'll be honest, it shouldn't exist. I don't even know why it exists.
Right.
Nobody has ever told me why it exists.
There are a lot of things, Josh and I, we talk about everything over here. We've been friends for 30 years. There are a lot of things about sex that Josh finds completely icky. Oh, and I'm drawn to those things. We are different in that aspect. All right, who wants to go? Grossest things your partner does that you've just come to accept. You sad bastard, you.
Well, my wife is messy. Her car is covered in food. Her whole life is a disaster when it comes to, there's no organization. There's no particular place for things. Things are thrown astrew. But, I would say if I had to pick the grossest, her toothbrush is absolutely disgusting.
Ooh, what way?
It's just covered in old toothpaste. Like, you'd have to chisel it away. And I know I'm a little particular. Like, I clean mine every day, right? Rinse it off and make sure it's not disgusting. But hers is sick.
Not too long ago, I think we talked about how oblivious a lot of us were to toothbrush maintenance. I hear you. So
I'm a little far on the other end by far.
You'll rinse the sumbitch off
every
like
day.
This here?
Yeah, I can't jerk it off every day.
But she has like 1 3/4 inches of old toothpaste dried on the...
Every once in a while there'll be dog hair stuck in there. I found a fossil. There was once a fossil in there.
It was like the
I gave it to the Science Museum.
The oldest living being, right?
So she had that toothbrush in prison, they kind of file down the other end of it to create a shank. She could just shank it with the bristle end and it would cause more damage.
Probably.
She's a dangerous lady.
And we have, a place for each other's toothbrushes, right? And she moved hers to where mine is, and I never turn on lights in the morning, which you could tell by looking at me, right? You wonder, how would somebody leave the house looking like that? Well, it's because I don't turn on lights. And I used hers and was absolutely disgusted.
Good Lord. This is great. Already got a text message from Kitty Lover Jesus who says, my husband wears effing thong underwears.
Whoa. Really?
She says, I deal with it, but man.
That probably would have been a deal breaker early on in the relationship.
That would be uncomfortable, I would think.
Thong underwears.
What would you do, Ashley,
used to it.
if you had just met a guy and you were, hooking up for the first time? He takes his jeans off. He's got a banana hammock on.
I'd probably leave. I'd be worried about his well-being.
Christina says, after 15 years of marriage today, congratulations. The list is way too long to name. LOL. Happy 15th anniversary, John. She finishes.
They've become too comfortable, too familiar with each other.
So LOL. She puts that in her text. I just started using that, and I used it yesterday. And I was wondering if you guys were going to comment. It was on an email chain we were on.
I did notice that actually about the pictures.
I've never used an LOL. It was my first time.
I liked it.
I couldn't pull it off.
Actually,
I read the message first. I didn't exactly see who had sent that one in the thread. I'm like, oh, it must have been Ashley. I'm like, that Josh dropped an LOL on this?
I wrote it. I deleted it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it out. I'm just trying it.
Yeah, it works. I like this new Josh.
All right, jump in when you feel like it.
So I got one for myself that my girlfriend hates.
You're a gross person, according to your girlfriend, for what reason now?
So when I take a shower, I like to get all the boogers out of my nose, and I kind of farmer blow. And sometimes one little strand or something will get stuck on the wall.
No,
and
we'd be fighting.
I'll forget about it, or I won't see it, and then she'll come in the bathroom just gagging.
Yeah, I wouldn't want boogers on my shower wall.
Oh, if I farmer blow, I get in some trouble.
Do you?
She does not like that at all.
My least favorite sound.
I have to get it out.
But she puts up with that because you ravage her sexually.
Oh, and it's so good. So good.
She puts up with dried or moist boogers on the wall.
I got one for myself, too. I don't do this anymore, thankfully, because my current fiance would probably not even be with me, but I used to find it a challenge, and if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, to not turn the lights off and be able to.
Yeah.
It was like a game.
Not turn the lights on?
Not turn the lights on and successfully pee in the toilet in the complete darkness. I found that was like a challenge.
You enjoyed mopping urine up off of your...
Well, that's the thing. Then I sometimes won't clean it thoroughly enough.
Well, you lived by yourself for a little while there.
Yeah, but no, this is when I was married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was not. That did not go over well all the time.
What?
It was a game, Ashley.
It sounds kind of fun, yeah.
And there's no competitors. It's just you and your urine.
Yes.
Entire data trying to pee. Well, you got to make it so hard.
It's an interesting game. Hey, I won again, I think.
Yeah, who do I brag about this to?
I would always play the game where you try to fill the toilet with all the bubbles.
Yes, I like that game, too. That's another fun one.
I don't know the fill the toilet with the bubbles game.
Yeah, you pee in the toilet and you try to make as many bubbles and you try to fill up the whole toilet.
Oh, I see.
This person says...
I don't know that game.
My wife rips her toenails off and throws them on the floor by the couch.
Oh.
She also takes out her contact lenses and throws them behind the couch.
What?
Sometimes I'll find them dried out and pasted to the hardwood floor. It's fine, though. The sex is amazing. Oh, wait, sex never happens anymore. Sad face. That is from Hurts When I Fart Jesus.
That's terrible. So she just doesn't. She just doesn't use the trash can for anything.
I guess not.
That would make me nuts. The floor's not a trash can. All right, here's some of what the internet had to say about these gross things that their partner does. But you've learned to accept it. I guess you've given up. He picks his teeth with the point of a knife. Now, this lady says it's not really gross, but the sound of metal against teeth makes me cringe.
Yeah,
Picture like an old cowboy doing that. That sounds kind of cool.
My old man was a pocket knife guy. Matter of fact, we went up and saw my mom last weekend. And I think my brother, just in one corner of the house, found 3 separate pocket knives. He just liked to have, and he would throw that pocket knife into his teeth now and again to get some something or another out of there, and then the pocket knife would go into his fingernails and go in his ear. It was just an all-purpose kind of a thing.
I sometimes wonder, because I do that, right? I'll grab whatever is around to floss.
Yeah.
Except for floss. For whatever reason, I never use floss. I have floss. I don't use it. I use other things. And I was just trying to think, does that gross her out? Because she's never said anything to me. But I'm going to say no, because she'll save receipts for me so I can just sit there and floss with the receipts.
That's kind of sweet.
I know it grosses out the kids. It embarrasses them.
You know, and a lot of people here in this conversation is just comparable to the lady who will tear off her toenails and her stupid contact lenses and just throw them on the floor. I mean, what's the matter with you? What are you, an animal or something? A lot of these are just people who don't know the proper place for things. Specifically, the garbage can. Here is a lady who says her husband leaves Q-tips everywhere.
Ew.
Just put them in the garbage. How much effort does it take to open your hand and let them fall into a trash can?
And why are you leaving the bathroom with them? Yeah, if you're leaving them everywhere all over the house.
That's a good point.
Now
Yeah,
he's
just get
walking
it done.
around the hallway, swirling it, or I don't know.
I'll take these Q-tips to the basement, thank you.
This one is pretty gross. Everybody already had breakfast.
Are we ready?
I'm hanging on.
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
It's Nick. I'm sorry, what?
Is it the one I'm thinking of? Go ahead.
I don't know. There's a lot coming in. I couldn't tell you. But I know this is Nick's least favorite topic.
Give me a
It's already come
friggin' break. Here we go.
Army truck driver Jesus had an ex that used to feed her boogers to their dog.
Oh.
And then he says, yucky, and I agree.
What's wrong with you?
That is yucky.
That's animal cruelty.
I agree. Take that woman's dogs away.
That's what crazy psycho people do.
Here's my booger.
What are you
Eat
doing?
it.
All right, the grossest thing.
I'm a part of you, Brian.
The grossest things that your partner does, but you freaking put up with it, you soft-ass bastards.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They can get pretty big. They can get 10 foot, 150 plus pounds, and they are a predator.
On 93X.
All right, so here we are. We're back on the Half-Assed Morning Show. Josh is over there on the other side of the soundboard, retching like he's going to vomit.
Some of these are rough.
He's reading texts from our listening audience that have been sent to 651-989-9393. We've been talking about the gross things that your partner does, but you put up with it anyway. I can't wait. You got to dump this on us, Josh. Give her hell. What are they telling you?
Okay, some of these are... Okay, this person would let their... I'm sorry. My ex, this person says, would let the cat lick earwax off of Q-tips.
That's different. You know, I mean, but I'll go ahead and admit that I had a dog that liked to lick my feet, and 9 times out of 10 I'd let him.
That seems a little less gross to me.
Okay.
You know, or maybe even a lot less gross to me.
I'd let him. He enjoyed it.
One of our dogs, my girlfriend, will clean the eye boogers out of her eyes, and then
out of whose eyes?
Out of the dog's eyes, and then the dog wants to eat it.
Well, dogs want to eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
They don't know. They don't even know what the hell it is that's in front of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
doo-doo sometimes.
Eye boogers is like a treat to her.
Ick.
A lot of people text in about their dogs eating, feminine products and maybe used condoms and things like that. But then their significant other will still let them lick their face. You know, they're kind of grossed out by that.
Sure.
Some of these I can't even read. I thought this was funny from Short Bus Jesus. I mean, I have the capacity to read. I understand the words, but
you
they're
got a
too
good
good for
education.
reading. Short Bus Jesus said, I use my bathroom sink as a urinal. It's amazing to brush your teeth and take your morning pee at the same time. It's a real time saver, he says.
No.
I've never peed in a sink.
I've peed in a sink.
Oh, I have.
I've peed in a sink.
Out of desperation or for fun?
Both.
Desperation.
Desperation.
Really?
I was just really drunk, couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a mud sink.
Yep, same here,
And a bunch of dudes.
Oh,
One bathroom.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I was picturing a bathroom sink, which I'd never have done before. But you're talking about like the laundry sink?
Yeah, the
Oh,
mud
yeah,
sink downstairs.
that's more or less a toilet.
Okay, yeah,
I don't even count that as peeing in the sink because the laundry sink is more or less a toilet. That
I
doesn't.
even poop in there.
That
We had
doesn't
a
count.
floor drain in our basement that we would use.
Yeah.
Because, when somebody else was in the bathroom and it was an emergency.
That's not the same. That doesn't count. You can feel free to do that and not be judged at all, in my opinion.
Boss Lady Sheeza said she had an ex-boyfriend who would drink too much and then wet the bed and then try and pass it off like he was just really sweaty.
That would be an impressive amount of sweat.
It smells like urine.
I received quite a few texts on heavy drinkers who were bedwetters, and I've experienced that myself.
I've only done that once.
Never done that.
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean from drinking?
From drinking,
Yeah.
Wetting the bed, I'm an expert. I could beat anybody here in the amount of times I've wet the bed.
I had actually tried to blame it on me once, and I said, you wet the bed like 4 times in the past 5 months. Why would this be me all of a sudden?
I thought this was funny from Falls While Peeing Jesus on the topic of your dogs eating your boogers. Now I feel bad, he says. I feed my boogs to my dog only because she likes it. She
Stop it.
She gets excited when I blow my nose. But now that I'm typing this out, I feel gross and great shame. I will do better.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
that's beyond repair disgusting right there, what you're talking about. What about someone who sucks her tea bags dry? I don't know tea drinkers, so
what?
that's kind of foreign to me.
That's
Never seen that.
weird.
I mean, yeah, I'm not around a lot of tea drinkers. I don't think it would throw me off all that much.
No, it definitely should.
what
That is odd.
I'm not saying it's disgusting, but you'd notice that.
Yeah, but yeah.
No, that's gross.
And you went to St. Cloud State. You know a lot of tea baggers.
I know a lot of tea bagging.
Talking about things that our partners do, that's really gross, but some of yous put up with it. Guy says, I don't know if this is his wife, girlfriend. I found a used tampon stuck to the carpet next to her bed.
It happened.
shower peeing. Okay, we don't need to get into that conversation again, but there's shower peeing was brought into the mix, brought into the conversation. I don't know. Again, I'll just say this one more time. Why would I ever step out of a nice hot shower to take a whiz? I have no idea.
Well, how would I know I wouldn't care if my partner was doing that. I wouldn't know because I wouldn't ask.
What if he walked in, the shower wasn't on, he just had the shower curtain open and just peeing into the dry shower?
Or what if he's standing outside the shower peeing in?
I would just hand him the bleach.
My wife cleans out the shower drain barehanded.
Oh, gross! I don't go near that.
Well, I'd imagine it's your hair there, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Because I could tell with at my house, there's a lot of hair. I have no idea how my wife has any left with the amount of hair that gets in the shower.
Like the hair swirl on the wall.
Here's the thing:
I never do that.
If you're cleaning out a shower drain, depending on who's living in your house, it ain't just hair.
Yep.
Listen to remember what Wapple said. What he does in the shower, he blows his friggin' nose. Some people like to masturbate in the shower. Eating while using the bathroom was brought up.
I can't do that.
I did that once. Well, I'm sure more than once, but once in particular where I did, and I felt great shame.
Am I going one or two?
I still feel weird about both of them.
Yeah, give us the answer to both.
I guess I've done it.
I'm sure Nick would definitely eat when he's going one, but not two.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell's the problem with eating while taking a leak?
I don't know. It's just kind of... I feel like once I go through the bathroom door, it's just viruses will get on everything.
See, I'm not a virus guy.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not a virus guy.
Yeah, it'll be like all of a sudden poop particles are on my sandwich.
Yeah, I don't believe
Probably
in that.
already is.
I think, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, Cubby's right.
You read
Cubby's
all those
right.
studies where it says like, oh, there's 900 million trillion bacteria on your phone. It's like, yeah, has anybody ever died from that though? I think I'll be okay.
I don't
people
know.
do.
Until I can taste the viruses, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah, I'm
to
with you.
have a drink of beer or whatever while I'm taking a. Eating is different in my. Although it wouldn't be ridiculous.
I'm not
all
going
the virus poop particle people, they just can't get enough of their own speaking voices, I think, sometimes.
I would never prepare a sandwich because
bathroom?
I'm going into the bathroom.
Well, that's a totally different.
Yeah, I think that's way different. But I'm not going to stop eating just because I have to pee.
So, you have to pee real bad. You're like, hold on, I got to put this peanut butter and jelly together.
That would be hilarious to see someone, getting out the mayo and the lettuce and well, what are you doing? Are you going on a picnic? No, I got to take a dump. I'm just. A lot of texts about people who take a deuce without closing the door. I hate that. I don't even want to get involved in that because I've exhausted myself.
I even do that when I'm home alone. Anytime I'm using the bathroom, I close the door.
I remember you saying that.
That is one thing I guess that my boyfriend does that I'm not a huge fan about is that he doesn't, he always closes the door if he does number two. But I don't really like that he doesn't close the door when he just pees. I don't like hearing that. It just grosses me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. But I mean,
that's how I fall asleep.
If he's
the
listening
sound
now,
of urine.
this is probably the first time he's ever heard me say this. So, maybe stop doing that, man.
I hear you on all that. If you're all by yourself, of course, it's a completely different story. If there's other people in the house, you close the door.
I even have to close the door just when I take a shower. I could never imagine going number two with the door open.
Yeah, anytime I'm in there, I close the door. Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
And lock it. Didn't you say once that you lock it even sometimes?
Yeah, the one time I didn't, I had somebody walk in on me.
Terrifying. In your own house.
I felt bad for him more than anybody else.
He saw some things.
Oh, that was a straight shot right to my wiener. He definitely saw.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I looked right at it.
Poor guy. I owed him an apology and maybe $30 or something.
Yeah.
Just some walking around money, kid.
Here's a gift card to the sandwich shop.
Very sorry you had to see that.
$10 an inch. $10 an inch.
Here's $10, son.
It's like OnlyFans. He owes you money.
I wish I could bring that kind of heat.
We love you. Thanks for your text, but a lot of yous are gross.
You know what? And to the people that have texted and said this has been helpful because, they don't feel like some of their stuff's as weird as what they might have heard on the show today.
Exactly.
Shout out to Happy Cappy Sheezus, Pull Tab Voyeur Sheezus and their family. Their grandma Jean passed this morning. 99 years old, she made it. A true OG, they tell us. Some sad news in the puppyhood. Condolences to Logan Heating Jesus and his family. They let us know their dog Olaf passed the other day. Good luck to Craig Rosensbeard going to get his motorcycle permit and then rip wheelies on his Honda XR 650L. Good luck today. Don't kill yourself.
Stay safe, yeah.
Happy 38th to Like a Sore D. You can't beat it, Jesus. Going skydiving for his birthday, and he said hopefully this won't be his last check-in. Yeah, let us know tomorrow if you made it. Or hopefully you're buoyant. Hap got a Jesus name change for her 35th birthday today. Bisexual lab tech Jesus is now bisexual gamer Jesus. Your coworker who can't settle on a Jesus named Jesus, she texted in to say happy birthday to you as well. And Plumb Fool Jesus texted a happy 50th to his beautiful wife, sexy urology nurse Jesus. Have a great, what day is it? Thursday.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.